This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.
And an 11-minute ride up University Parkway separate these two schools. The Cougars took game one in Provo. Now the Wolverines are looking to get even. It's green versus blue, UVU and BYU baseball coming up next.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
no, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
Welcome into UCCU Ballpark. I am Jordan Bianucci alongside Ryan Pickens as we get ready for BYU and UVU, Game 2 of this season series, the finale between these two schools tonight in Orem. And Ryan, the Wolverines are looking to even this series. What do they have to do to get that done?
Well, I think a lot of what we saw over this past weekend in the 2 out of 3 from Northern Colorado, the first thing, they got to keep those bats hot. Scoring 10, 12 runs is going to put Utah Valley in a position to win, not just tonight, but a lot of games throughout the year. They got to avoid the big inning. This is something that's hurt them in the past matchups against BYU and also even this last weekend against Northern Colorado. You start giving up 4 and 5 spots, it just opens up the floodgates offensively for the other team. Don't allow extra outs. A lot of those runs came, and we saw it this weekend. Multiple times with 2 outs, more runs came across the score. Utah Valley has to find a way to get that 3rd out, end the inning, and really help them be able to try to finish up that inning and get their bats up.
Let's take a look at our key players tonight. Ryan?
Well, when you take a look at it for BYU, first baseman Brian Sue hitting in the 2 spot. BYU's a team that's trying to kind of get things going a little bit offensively. They're, especially at the top of their lineup, not as hitting as hot as we've seen them in the past. Brian Sue's been kind of the exception. The junior first baseman comes in hitting .386, has 3 home runs, has done a great job, an on-base percentage of over .400, has done a great job setting the table, and that helps your cleanup hitter Brock Hale. Hale, .321 average, 7 home runs, has really anchored the power load for BYU. Next, he leads BYU with 7 home runs. It's going to be a tough challenge tonight for that UVU pitching staff to make sure that they do not miss with pitches to Hale.
And on the Utah Valley side, it's really about those guys in the 3 and the 4 spot.
Well, we talked about it. We knew coming into last weekend to win games in the WAC, Trevor Peterson, Jackson Overland was going to have to jumpstart the middle of the lineup, and they did that. Trevor Peterson hit the big grand slam against Northern Colorado, has his average now up to 330. He's not a big home run guy normally. This is a guy that's more of a doubles kind of a hitter. He's going to hit the ball more to the gaps. You go to Jackson Overland, though, and there's the pop. He's a guy that needs to get hot for Utah Valley. He's got some big offensive numbers that he can put up. If the Wolverines are going to win tonight, Overland and Peterson have to have a big ball game.
The Wolverines are ready to go. The Cougars are ready to go. We'll be back with the lineups and the first pitch after this.
What is it about the car shopping experience at Murdoch Hyundai that has everyone talking? Maybe it's the safety inspections or the car washes for life. It could be the price match guarantee, or maybe it's just the way you're treated. Come fall in love in Linden, Logan, and Murray at Murdoch Hyundai. Your no regrets dealer.
We are underway here in Orem. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Brennan Anderson. And with that, Ryan, I'll send it over to you for the lineups.
All right, let's go ahead here in a moment and take a look at the BYU lineup.
There's a ball down low.
All right, leading off will be the second baseman, Brennan Anderson. Brian Sue, the first baseman, hits in the 2 spot. Daniel Schneeman, the shortstop, will hit third. Brock Hale in the cleanup spot. DHing tonight will be Keaton Kringlin. Nate Favero at third hits 6th. David Clausen, the catcher, 7th. Jarrett Perns, the center fielder, hitting 8th. And then Mitch McIntyre, the left fielder, rounds out the order and bats 9th.
As you see Anderson take a curveball in there for, I believe that was a strike, but the scoreboard says ball 3, so 3-1 the count to Anderson. And the leadoff man is aboard.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the defense tonight for Utah Valley. In the outfield from left to right, Michael Beltran in left. In center will be Trevor Peterson, Jackson Overland in right. Cade Polson at third. At short will be Trevor Howell. David Modler at second. Over at first will be Payson Hayes. Drew Sims back behind the plate. We haven't seen him since Friday night behind the plate. And pitching will be Paxton Schultz. Schultz 1-1, making his 7th appearance, first start of the year. He's thrown 12 1/3 innings. Opponents hitting .280 off the right-hander, who's got 5 walks and 12 strikeouts, and an ERA of 5.84.
And the right-hander delivers a fastball that misses, and it's 1-0 to Sue. And we talked pregame about this, Ryan. Sue is a key for the Cougars tonight. He's hitting .386 coming into the ballgame.
Yeah, he comes in, I believe that's the highest batting average for BYU. He's done a great job, and this is the kind of the dangerous part. He has some pop. He's second in the team in home runs. More of a guy that's going to hit for average, though, for the Cougars, and that's exactly what they need, especially in situations like this.
So right away, Schultz is into his stretch after walking the leadoff man. BYU won game 1 of this season series. That was about a couple weeks ago. Throw over to first base. 2 weeks.
To the day.
To the day. There's a curveball in there for a strike, and right away, Ryan, we're seeing a lot more breaking stuff from Paxton Schultz tonight than we did over the weekend.
And what I'm wondering is that outing he had over the weekend, I wonder if that kind of is going to get him back on track. We saw Schultz was a key part of last year's squad, and this is a good opportunity for him to build some confidence against the Cougars. Of course, we'll see how long he's going to go with a Thursday game coming up.
The 1-2 is grounded foul. Over the weekend, we saw Schultz pitch against Northern Colorado, and he was hitting 94 miles an hour on the radar gun. Tonight, it will be a staff night for Utah Valley, meaning we're going to see a whole lot of pitchers, as the Wolverines have a 3-game series this weekend against UTRGV as Schultz checks on the runner. And the Wolverines begin that series unusually Thursday rather than Friday, and we'll have that game on UVU TV for you Thursday night. The point being that the Wolverines cannot waste a lot of arms tonight. As the ball misses down in the dirt, the freshman Sims on top of it, and it's 2-2.
Tonight can't be fun for both coaches, trying to plan out a little bit with having the opportunity to try to see here how you can play. Both teams haven't played since Saturday, so that's a little bit of help. They've had an extra day's rest than what UVU's used to in these midweek contests, but still it has to be nightmare trying to manage pitch counts and making sure you have enough arms available on Thursday.
You see Schultz check on the runner again. Anderson this season, he's stolen 4 bags. He's been caught twice. Here comes the 2-2. The runner bluffs as if to go. Now a slow roller to third. Charging is Polson. He has it, throws, but it's not in time. And there will be 2 men on with nobody out for the Cougars in the first. Take a look at the first baseman. Payson Hayes, the freshman, getting a lot of playing time with Callahan Molson out with a wrist injury. So Hayes has kind of had to just dive in there. So the left-handed hitting Schneeman now will come to the plate. BYU is 12-10 overall, and looking to sweep UVU this season. Utah Valley's 9-12. The pitch, a bunt, and he popped it up right back to Schultz. And I didn't see them call it, but they should have called an infield fly rule. Either way, 1 out. And a wasted opportunity for Schneemann.
That's the one thing you can't do if you're Daniel Schneemann there, Jordan, is get under that ball and pop the bunt up. You want to just basically drive it into the ground almost to make sure you get it down somewhere, because that's just an easy play and kind of a wasted out there for the Cougars.
Here is Brock Hale. Hale, the junior, hitting .321, looking to put BYU on top. The pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike 1. Blake Jensen is the home plate umpire tonight. Randy Upton is at first base, and Jeff Clough is the third base umpire. On a chilly night in Orem, the wind is gusting out toward center field, so if these hitters can get the ball in the air, it may go a long ways. Owen won the count. A swing and a foul. There's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Schultz. And if Schultz can command the curveball tonight, he could pitch very well. The fastball's always good. It's the breaking stuff that Paxton will try and harness. Sue at first base, Anderson at second. 1 out in the top of the first, no score. That's a good-looking 0-2 pitch, a fastball missing off the inside corner. He made Hale think about it. And that's all you want to do with an 0-2. You don't have to pour one in there. The 1-2 pitch coming. Fastball, liner down the right field line, foul ball.
This is something to keep in mind as we go throughout this night. These are the sort of situations right here as you see Paxton Schultz come with that fastball. Look where that one is. Out over the plate, around the knees. You got to get either lower there or you got to get a little bit further off the plate or somewhere. If you're going to miss there, it's going to be easy to elevate that just a little bit, and you're going to be at that point throwing BP for BYU.
Hale has 7 home runs on the season. So as you said, Ryan, you don't want to leave one out and over that plate. Schultz has to be careful here. Eric Mattson, Utah Valley's head coach, is not going to let him throw a whole lot of pitches tonight, so he has to be economical. He'd love a ground ball here, get 2. The 2-2. A swing and a foul. Another fastball from Schultz. Hale did a nice job to spoil it.
This is where it comes back to managing a pitching staff and managing pitch counts. This is where it gets challenging in a game like this. If you have a couple of these innings, it goes back to one of our keys to avoid the big inning, because a big inning in a game like this where you're probably already a little handcuffed in who you can throw and how long you can throw them can get really tricky to manage before you have to start saying, okay, these are the guys I don't want to throw, but I have no choice.
The 2-2 just missed outside. And the count is full. Keaton Kringlen is on deck. He is the Cougars' designated hitter. This inning all began with a walk to Anderson, then a infield single for Sue. And Schultz wants to run through the signs with Sims again. Sims, the freshman catcher out of California. Payoff pitch. A swing and a ground ball to short. This could be 2. Howell to second. Modler back to first. 2, a double play. Schultz gets exactly what he needed. A hit, a man left, no runs for Brigham Young. On to the last of the first inning. No score on UVU TV.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
You are watching UVU TV.
And I'll send it over to Ryan with the lineups.
All right, let's take a look at the lineup for Utah Valley. They're 9-12 on the season, announced by head coach Eric Madsen. Leading off will be the shortstop Trevor Howell. David Modler hits in the 2 spot, Trevor Peterson 3rd, Jackson Overland in the cleanup spot. Ryan Eastburn, who had a pretty good weekend back in the DH spot for Utah Valley. Cade Polson will hit 6th at third base, Drew Sims 7th, Payson Hayes hitting 8th, and then Michael Beltran will round out the order and bat 9th. Defensively for BYU, it will be in the outfield, Mitch McIntyre in left, Jarrett Perns in center. In right, it will be Brock Hale on the infield, Nate Favero at third base, Daniel Schneeman at short. At second will be Brennan Anderson. Over at first base, it will be Brian Sue. Catching will be the sophomore David Clausen, and pitching will be number 42, Bo Burrup. Burrup 1-1 on the season, making his 10th appearance with 1 start already. He's got 11 innings, 18 hits, 15 runs, 14 which have been earned. He's walked 6 and struck out 11. Opponents hitting .346 off the left-hander, who's a very big fastball kind of slider type. And boy, I tell you, that fastball going to be in that mid-80s. For Utah Valley, if they could time some fastballs, they could have a nice night offensively, at least against Burrup.
So as Howell takes a ball outside, the Wolverines will get to work. Trevor hitting .301 on the year. He had a great series over the weekend against Northern Colorado, and he lines one, a looping liner down the right field line here. He's going to round first aggressively, but stay put as Hale comes up with it in right. And the Wolverines have the leadoff man on. We have seen so many times during these games between these two teams throughout the years, the Cougars get big innings early, and it's always tough to come back against that. Schultz did a nice job of working around a couple base runners in the top half of this inning. And now Burrup will have to do the same. The leadoff man is on for the Wolverines. Here is Modler. A fastball misses down low.
And I really wonder if you have to kind of change the approach a little bit, not really look at it as a 9-inning game, but maybe shorten it up a little bit and try to take it in thirds or try to take it inning by inning, because it's easy against a team like BYU.
Here's a double play ball. 1 and 2. Anderson to Schneeman to Sue, and just like that, 2 gone and the bases are empty.
It's easy against a team that you haven't had a lot of success against lately to really kind of have some success early, and then all of a sudden stuff starts not going your way, and then you just kind of go like this. Oh, well, here it goes. Here goes the game. Here they're starting to heat up. You have to kind of break that mentality.
Here is Trevor Peterson, and he chops one right back to Burrup. It caroms off his glove to Anderson. Anderson throws in time to get him, and the Wolverines go down quickly and ultimately quietly. 0-0 to score. We'll head to the second inning. It's BYU and UVU on UVU TV.
People talk about life after college, you know, entering the real world. But this is engaged learning. I'm not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. I'm learning by doing. I'm at UVU. I'm in the real world every day.
You only need to answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests. From innovative exercise science, outdoor recreation to STEM programs, there's a place for you at Utah Valley University. A place to engage, to rise, to succeed, to become.
You're watching UVU TV.
No score as we head to the top of the second inning. Paxton Schultz back out there on the mound for the Wolverines. It will be Kringlin, Favero, and Clausen, 5, 6, and 7 for BYU. The one strike pitch is in the dirt. Looked like a slider from Schultz. The count's 1-1. Well, the Wolverines got the leadoff man on base in the bottom of the first, but they ultimately grounded into a double play. No damage was done. The Cougars did the same, actually, in the top half of the first inning. The 1-1. A ball misses inside. That ball was close, but you see Sims was set up outside, and an umpire will rarely give you that call if you miss your target that badly. Kringlin hitting .320 on the year. No home runs. 7 RBIs. He swings and tops this one foul. It's 2-2.
And this becomes a big part of the ball game for Paxton Schultz to try to work through this order 1, 2, 3, kind of get going back again, trying just to find a way to keep the pitch count low and to try to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is big. I think for Utah Valley, as we start to see the first guy start stretching down in the bullpen, Wolverines have to put up zeros tonight, Jordan, and they have to put up zeros quite a bit if they're going to stay in this one.
This one is chopped to shortstop, and Howell can't come up with it. So that will go down as an error on Trevor Howell. Those are the kind of things that can't happen against a good team like BYU. Come back to bite you. As you mentioned, a right-hander getting loose in that bullpen. I believe that's Jake Carr. So, a man on, nobody out. Here is Favero. And Schultz blows a fastball by him. The Cougar third baseman hitting .217 on the year. 12 RBIs, no homers. The outfield is deep though, the pitch. Another fastball. And Favero is late, and it's 0-2. And Ryan, I bet you we're going to see another fastball.
We may. I mean, if you're 0-2 and a guy hasn't caught up to it, why not? Why not go back to it, try to nibble off that corner? I wouldn't go down the middle here with it 0-2, but I would try to nibble or take it low and just kind of see here if you can get him to chase.
You see Sims set up outside. 3 straight fastballs, and Favero can't believe it. He looks baffled as he heads back to the dugout. 1 away, the first strikeout on the night for Schultz. And this is most likely Schultz's last inning. Whether he gives up a couple hits or ends up striking out the side, it's going to be a bullpen night for Utah Valley as they prepare for a conference weekend coming up beginning Thursday. David Clausen takes a strike. Did they call that a strike? Called it a ball. I was looking at my notes, I'll be honest with you. I thought I heard a strike call, and it was just someone yelling.
It's a good-sized crowd tonight. I mean, at the ballpark for sure, you know. Sun's out. It's not overly warm, but it's pretty good weather as they throw over to first.
Greenland has not stolen a bag this season. He has a short lead held on by Hayes. The 1-0 pitch is a fastball that's in there on the outside corner, strike one.
Talked about Paxton Schultz throwing pretty well this weekend against Northern Colorado. If he gets out of this inning, no damage done. Back-to-back good outings could maybe help project him on the right track for the season.
Curveball slips out of his hand there, and the count's 2-1. Well, the Wolverines are trying to win their first ball game against BYU since 2016. The 2-1 fastball misses high and away, and it's 3-1. Clausen is a .292 hitter. No home runs on the year. 6 men batted home. He can look for a pitch to drive. The pitch, swing and a miss, a foul tip at home plate. And the count is full. Three and two. From the stretch, Schultz comes home. Fastball swung back to the screen. And we'll do it again. Kringlen at first base. He reached on an error, no out, or 1 out rather, in the inning. And Schultz walks Clausen, the second walk of the ball game issued by Paxton Schultz. And there are runners on first and second, just 1 out. Batter will be Jarrett Perns. Perns hitting .383 in 47 at-bats. He does have 1 home run on the year. 10 RBIs. Schultz got a double play ball in the first inning. He'd love another one here. A swing and a miss. And it's 0-1. Here's the 1-strike pitch. And that one's right there on the outside corner. 0-2. And we've seen tonight Schultz have success when he's gotten ahead of guys in the count.
And that's key for any pitcher at any time. If you're constantly behind in the count 2-0, getting these fastball counts a lot, you have to come over the plate. We saw that happen a little bit this weekend where pitchers got behind in the count combined with maybe a tighter strike zone than pitchers used to, and it just forced the pitchers to come over the middle of the plate. And makes it a great night to be a hitter because you know you're going to get stuff over the plate.
The 0-2 is popped up. The infield fly rule will be called, meaning it is an automatic out, but Howell catches it anyway. And there's 2 away in the inning. So with that infield fly rule, Howell could have let the ball drop, and it would have been an out either way, but if he lets it drop, who knows what happens, and the Cougars can advance as they please. So runners on first and second, 2 outs, and the hitter will be Mitch McIntyre. Schultz trying to work around an error and a walk. McIntyre, the freshman, hitting .250. He has 1 home run on the year. As you see, Kringlen at second. Clausen is at first. The Wolverine outfield deep as the wind blows with gusto out toward center field. Schultz checks the runner. He comes home. Took something off the fastball, misses outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes to McIntyre. Schultz, the 6'3", 205-pound sophomore from right here in Orem. There's a strike. And it's 2-1. We did not see McIntyre in game 1 of this season series. BYU won that ball game, 9-3. It's a foul tip, and the count's even at 2-2. A big situation here for Schultz. If he can retire McIntyre, he doesn't have to face the top of the order. Brennan Anderson is on deck. No score between UVU and BYU. Schultz taking a while, now the 2-2, and it misses outside. So the runners will be on the move with a full count and 2 outs. Any base hit into the outfield could score 2. And ball 4 misses outside. So the bases will be loaded for Brennan Anderson. The second walk of the inning from Schultz, and here comes head coach Eric Mattson out to the mound. We'll see if he goes with Jake Carr, who looks to be about ready in the bullpen. He has yet to signal. And he's going to go with his right-hander, so that'll do it for Schultz.
So the first time that we'll see a change tonight, we will see Jake Carr come in from the bullpen. And so a very interesting kind of thing. We knew coming in, Jordan, that this was going to be kind of the bullpen kind of style game where we'll see a little bit of everybody. And now Jake Carr does not inherit an easy situation at all here tonight for the Wolverines.
Yeah, we saw Carr over the weekend, and he looked good coming out of the pen. And it's going to be like this tonight, one guy after another, as the Wolverines begin a 3-game series on Thursday with UTRGV, so they have to conserve arms. And Ryan, what are the numbers on Carr?
Well, Carr on the year is 2-1, making his 8th appearance. He's got a 9.00 ERA. He's gone 8 innings, 9 hits, 8 runs, all earned, 7 walks to 7 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .273 off the right-hander, and he'll kind of change things up a little bit here for the Cougars. They're used to seeing that kind of overhand arm slot with the high fastball. Jake Carr a little bit different. You can you'll see kind of a 3/4 kind of arm slot drop. So that's going to be something interesting. One kind of interesting thing to note, you look at Paxton Schultz got 1 time through the lineup. This is a BYU team that really scored a lot of their runs in that last game. The second, third time through, that big 4-run 6th inning I think they had was the second or third time through that they got to Caden Schmidt. So something interesting to see. I'll be interested to see if that kind of equals out to be the pitch count tonight, if it's 1 time through the lineup, or kind of how that will go. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that could affect that tonight.
Well, the last time we saw Carr was against Northern Colorado this past weekend. He went 1 2/3 innings and did not give up a run, and he struck out 2 men. And this is a tough spot because you come in with the bases loaded, and right away you have to throw strikes. And you're facing the top of BYU's order. It's Brennan Anderson, who walked in the first inning.
And Anderson's had a really good career against Utah Valley. I don't know how many games, Jordan, you and I have seen where Brennan Anderson has multiple hits from that leadoff position. So it's going to be very important to keep something down and get a ground ball and get out of this.
The first pitch from Carr misses just low, ball 1. The Cougars have rallied this inning without getting a hit. UVU has gifted 3 base runners, 2 walks and an error. The 1-0 pitch, a swing and a topper foul. Anderson hitting .275 on the year, 1 home run. The 1-1 misses low and away, not close, and it's 2-1. It's going to be tough right now for hitters to see that baseball. It's coming out of the shade, passes into the sun, and back into the shade around the batter's area. As the sun sets behind the first base grandstand here at Brent Brown Ballpark, you see those shadows. The 2-1 from Carr. Down and in, and it's 3-1. So now you have to come in.
And these are the counts. If you're a Wolverine pitcher and you're Jake Carr, these are the counts you want to avoid. This has 3-1 fastball written all over it. And if I'm Brendan Anderson in the batter's box right now, I'm probably not swinging at anything unless it's a fastball.
Yeah, Anderson can look to really get into one here. 2 outs in the inning, bases loaded. 3-1 is crushed to left. Grand slam. Well, we talked about it, Ryan. Anderson knew what was coming. He knew if we knew. And it's 4-0 BYU.
Well, and I think the frustrating part, we talked about getting out of innings, not giving extra outs. The error started the inning, the back-to-back walks, and that's the tough part there. Jake Carr leaves the fastball up in the strike zone, and boy, I don't know if that one got completely out of the ballpark or not, but Anderson hit that one deep.
Yes, he did. Carr left the ball up in the zone. And Anderson did not miss it, his 2nd homer of the year. He now has 14 RBIs as a strike is called to Sue. Sue singled, a little infield base hit back in the 1st inning. The 1-strike offering is chopped foul. Sue, the 6'2", 190-pound, swings here and lifts this one into deep left center field. It's in the ballpark, though, for Michael Beltran. He makes the play, and the inning is over. But BYU puts 4 on the board with 1 swing of the bat. Anderson hits a grand slam. We head to the last of the 2nd. Cougars 4, the Wolverines nothing.
I hate math. I can't count how many times I've heard people say that. And as a math teacher, I take it personally. So, while working on my master's at UVU, I developed ways to help kids not hate math. Does engaged learning make a difference? You do the math.
to do. They trail 4-0. Here as we begin the last of the second inning, Jackson Overland will be the batter. 4, 5, and 6 coming up. Here's a chopper to second. And on one pitch, Overland is retired. Well, Ryan, we talked about it. You can't give BYU extra outs, and the Wolverines gifted 3 base runners in the top of this inning.
Extra outs, you can't have runs score with 2 outs in the inning like that. You can't miss your spots with a fastball. I mean, a lot of things in that one hitter really change the entire course of the ball game if you're Utah Valley and your approach now. And I mean, it's tough there to have that kind of an inning, but the biggest thing you have to do now is you have to move past it, put up some zeros. This is a Utah Valley team that's very gritty. They'll stand in there and fight. I don't think they're gonna just lay low against this BYU team tonight.
Ryan Eastburn, the hitter. The designated hitter for Utah Valley tonight. A swing and a line drive, stabbed by Sue. A very nice play at first, and there are 2 gone. Sue ranging to his right, backhanded that one. And the bases are empty, 2 down for Cade Polson. Polson hitting .254 on the year. 7 men batted home. Bo Burrup, the lefty, throws. The ball misses down and away.
Finish. Come on, come on.
You see Burrup there. No one up in the BYU bullpen. The 2-0 to Polson. Fastball misses way outside, and it's 3-0. Should Polson reach, it would be Drew Sims. Working quickly, Burrup throws. Fastball catches the outside corner. That one swung on and lifted into shallow right field. Incoming is Hale. It's going to drop in front of everybody. Sue was out there. Anderson was out there. So Polson hits one off the end of the bat, and it falls for a bloop single. And Drew Sims will come to the plate with 1 on and 2 out.
Right there, that's not the most impressive base hit that Cade Polson has, but look at Brian Sue. He gets out there. I don't know if he lost it looking back in the sun, took his eye off it just for that split second, but right there, that slightest look away from the baseball cost him the difference between an out. I would say Brian Sue probably makes that play more times than he doesn't make that play.
It would have been a nice defensive play. Here's Sims swinging at the first pitch, and he drives this one into right center field. That one's going to get down. Playing it on one hop is Hale. Coming around to third and stopping there is Polson, but the freshman into second with a 2-out double. The Wolverines are ecstatic about Drew Sims. His dad played in a major league system, the Marlins system, and Sims, not known for the bat, known for his 6'4" frame behind the plate, the way he catches, but a nice job getting into one there. And here's Payson Hayes. Hayes, another freshman. Hayes has kind of been thrown into things as Callahan Moltzen injured his wrist earlier this season. Hayes out of Blackfoot, Idaho, had a base hit against the Cougars a couple weeks ago. He waves at this one though, and it's quickly 0-2. Payson has power. He has 3 home runs on the year. But it's tough for a freshman trying to battle great pitching right away. Such a big jump from high school to Division I. A couple of 2-out base hits for the Wolverines. Sims at second, Polson at third, 4-0 BYU. The 2-strike pitch is in the dirt. Clausen with a nice stop to keep Polson at third base. The 1-2, not close. 2-2.
These are these opportunities we talked about over the weekend, Jordan, against Northern Colorado for the Wolverines. These are these situations you have to cash in right here. Second and third, 2 outs. You got to find that clutch base hit.
2-2, swung on and missed. He struck him out. So the Wolverines string together a couple 2-out base hits. They leave the men stranded. On to the third, 4-0, BYU.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye? That when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid? See ya! Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
You're watching UVU TV.
Four to nothing Cougars as we begin the third inning. Jake Carr back out on the mound. He will face Schneeman, Hale, and Kringlen. And with the play-by-play, I'll send it over to Ryan Pickens.
Thank you, Jordan. Daniel Schneeman stands in the box and takes the first pitch called strike. As Schneeman hitting in the 3 spot on the year for the Cougars.
I was building suspense there.
That's tried that this
drama.
weekend in Northern Colorado. You just didn't get the timing right there, though. I think you got it. The 0-1 pitch on its way. Schneeman lifts this one to left. Beltran going back. He'll get under it. He'll find it in left field and reaches up and makes the catch. I think he had to check the glove to make sure he hauled it in. And there's one away here in the top of the third inning, and that will bring up Brock Hale. We talked about Hale a little bit in the openers. You see how deep Michael Beltran there is playing. He is playing about 3 or 4 steps off the warning track there, the dirt that kind of lets the outfielders know exactly where they're at up against the wall. Brock Hale stands in. Hale grounded into an inning-ending double play in his first plate appearance. The first pitch misses off the plate for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Brock Hale. Jake Carr, the right-hander, ready to go to work for the Wolverines as he tries to work through the third inning here. Here's the 1-0 pitch on its way, and that one swung on and missed as Hale took a monster cut there and came up empty, and it's 1-1 here on the Cougars cleanup hitter.
In the bullpen, Blake Zellini, the left-hander, getting loose for Utah Valley.
Ready to go here from Carr as he takes the 1-1 pitch on its way home. Big swing and a miss there again. Carr may have gotten away with one there, coming kind of up and in the middle of the plate. And it's 1-2 the count here on Brock Hale. Tonight will give a lot of arms that you may not see most nights for the Wolverines an opportunity to get in the game. As the 1-2 pitch comes on its way, it's going to be popped up. It will go out of play down over into the maintenance area down the right field line. And we'll do the 1-2 pitch over again here to Brock Hale.
As you see Zellini down there, he's just about ready to go should Eric Matson decide to go with him.
1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Ready to go from the stretch. And here's the 1-2 pitch. That one off the plate for a ball, and it evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Brock Hale. Right now as Hale will stand in the box, ready to go. Carr working at a pretty good clip, and the 2-2 on its way inside, and that one hit Brock Hill. It looked like kind of right in the kneecap area. So that's not a great place for a hitter to take a pitch on the knee. And so Jake Carr will put with the 1-out walk. As you see this, Jordan, not a good spot to get hit.
No, but it did get him above the knee, so that's good. It'll be a little, I say that as if it's not a big deal. I would be writhing in pain. But Hale hits to first base, fastball getting away from Carr there.
Depending on where it could have hit, though, like you said, though, if it hits that kneecap, that just straight bone on ball hitting the bone coming in the mid to upper 80s, that's never a good sign. Here's Keaton Kringlen now to stand in, ready to go. Kringlen came around to score in his first plate appearance, and a solid cut there sends it back to the screen. It's 0-1. Kringlen reached on an error by Trevor Howell and came around to score on the Brennan Anderson grand slam. So you see Payson Hayes holding on the runner at first, Brock Hale. Double play depth for Utah Valley up the middle. They turned one in the first. They'd really probably like to get Carr out of this with limited damage done. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way, and that one misses low for a ball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Keaton Kringlen. Most of that, I think, on the grand slam, the only run that's going to get charged there to Carr is going to end up being Brennan Anderson. I think the other 3 will all be charged to Paxton Schultz. Here's the 1-1, and Carr will throw over, diving back safely is the runner Hale. It's the sun just now starting to extend here to the pitcher's mound, so in the next about half hour or so, the pitcher's mound will all be ready to go here. 1 ball, 1 strike, the pitch low and in the dirt. A good stop there by Sims, and it's 2-1 on Kringlen. So Zeleny warming up down. Well, he's ready to go. He's just standing down in the Utah Valley bullpen.
He's just loitering down there.
Having a conversation with, I believe that's volunteer assistant coach Joel D. Watts down in the bullpen. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that one's going to be hit into left field. That's going to fall for Kringlen. Going from first to third, up with it is Beltran. The throw is going to be on the money, but not in time. Just getting underneath the tag was Brock Hale. So Keaton Kringlen aboard, and BYU has something going again here in the third with runners on the corners with 1 out. And that will bring up Nate Favero. A good relay throw there, but Hale just able to, looks like just slid around the tag there of Cade Polson.
Yeah, nice job by Beltran. A very nice throw, but Kringlen, or I beg your pardon, Hale being very aggressive on the base paths, going first to third. And BYU threatening to put up a crooked number once again.
And that's something the Wolverines need to avoid tonight. Of course, the Cougars in that game a year ago here at UCCU Ballpark put on an offensive display for BYU. Has Carr laboring here in the third with 1 gone, 4-0 lead for BYU. Pitch on its way, that one swung on and fouled right back to the screen by Favero. Be 0-1 here on Favero, the senior from Virginia, who will stand back in the box.
The Cougars do not wait around. They are swinging at that first pitch, and it serves them well. Good hitting team.
Ready to go. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one off the glove of Sims to the backstop. Brock Hale will come in to score from third with ease, and it's 5-0 BYU here in the third.
Well, that almost looked like Sims got crossed up there. He wasn't sure what was coming, because that's going to be a pass ball. That was not a wild pitch.
And so we'll see here with that 1-1 count now, 1 run in, and with 1 out now, Kringlen moves down to second on the play. And Carr will go to work here with, it should be a 1-1 count on Favero. Carr working from the stretch. And the 1-1 again misses high and outside for a ball, 2 balls and a strike.
So another run gifted from the Wolverines, and you're just not going to win ball games when you do that against a good team like BYU.
BYU with 5 runs on only 3 hits. Really outside of the grand slam, most of them. Kringlen's was a single, and then Sue had a single in the first. Here's the 2-1 pitch right on the outside corner. This one in there for a strike, and it evens the count up at 2-2 on Favero. As you see Carr there taking some time in between pitches, rubbing down the baseball. Favero with 1 foot out of the box now gets back in. Favero here just really looking to find a way to move that runner from second to third. Here's the pitch on its way. Fastball again above the belt, ball 3. And the count goes full here on Nate Favero. Bo Burrup has looked strong for BYU through 2. His pitch count has stayed low. Ready to go in the box as Zeleny continues to play catch and throw off the mound in the UVU bullpen. I would imagine we're going to see him next for the Wolverines. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Favero. That one misses outside. Sims having to stretch for it there for ball 4. So here's Clausen to come to the plate. Clausen walked and scored a run, and Eric Madsen will make the move to the bullpen here in the 3rd inning. So Jake Carr's evening will come to an end here in the 3rd. And now we'll get Clausen, and this is a kind of a smart move because you have the left-handed hitting Clausen coming up here for BYU, and it puts an opportunity to go lefty versus lefty to try to get a ground ball, as we'll kind of see the entire infield there for Utah Valley. You can see what Jordan and I are talking about right here with where you see the pitcher's mound covered in covered in sun, so the ball is being delivered out of sun and then immediately hitting shadows. That can kind of plague hitters sometimes and make it hard to pick up the baseball. In the next about half hour or so, that will go away and everyone will be able to pick up the baseball a little more clearly. And that, depending on which side you're on tonight, Jordan, that could depend on whether that's a good or bad thing.
Indeed. Right now, Blake Zeleny will take his warm-up tosses. Zeleny has not seen a whole lot of action this season. He's only pitched 2/3 of an inning in 1 appearance. He gave up 1 run in that appearance. The freshman out of Brawley, California. And that appearance that Zeleny saw, it was back at USC. That was opening weekend, Ryan. You were down there in LA calling that series. So Zeleny has not pitched in 2 months. Or excuse me, 1 month, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, that outing came on the final final game of that series, a game that USC won by a final score of 8-6. Caden Schmidt got the start, and then it went to Walker Ramsey, and then Blake Zeleny came in out of the bullpen. If I remember correctly, he came in the 6th inning, I want to say, of that ball game. As you see some fun going on down on the berm, the sun is out, and it's gonna cool down here though in the next little while. Zeleny continuing his warm-up tosses. Keaton Kringlen and Trevor Howell having a nice conversation out there at second base as BYU, and we talked about it in the open, Jordan, how good of an offensive club BYU is, and they have lived up to that reputation tonight. So here's Clausen. He walked and then came around to score a run back in the 2nd inning for the Cougars. Kringlen will be running at second base. It's Favero running over at first. Neither runners are going to be held on there, as you see the infield all back for the Wolverines. And the pitch on its way. Going to miss low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes here on David Clausen. Jarrett Perns in the on-deck circle. So we'll see what Zeleny can bring after having the long layoff. It's hard when you're not playing consistent to sometimes get ready to go, and that one kind of hangs over the plate, but he's pulled foul. Be 1-1 here on David Clausen. One gone here in the top of the 3rd inning. Clausen ready to go in the box, a slightly open stance. Time called and everyone will reset.
There was some WAC out-of-town scoreboard action, Ryan. Chicago State beat Northwestern 8-7. That's a colossal upset.
That's a nice win. Beat a big a Big Ten team. That's a nice win for the Cougars there. 2 balls and a strike here on Clausen. He should see something good here from left-hander Zeleny here for the Wolverines. A lot of midweeks contests starting tonight. Clausen pulls this one over to first. Payson Hayes bobbles the baseball. The only out he'll have a chance to get is at first. He was going to try to go down to get Favero at second, would have had a play, but instead he'll get at least the for sure out at first, which ends up helping out, but the runners will move up, and that's just where that little bobble of the baseball between the transfer, as you see there, it kind of cost the out, almost cost him the out at first even as well. Zeleny, a nice heads-up play to cover the bag.
And that's one of the things that you'll see when a freshman is playing first base, isn't used to it, played shortstop in high school, and he's been, as we've mentioned a couple times, kind of thrust into that first baseman starter's role with Molson out.
Jarrett Pern swings at the first pitch, pops it up. Sims gives it a quick look, but it's off the roof and bounces into the second row of seats here. Makes some fans happy tonight to catch a ball at the ball game. No balls and a strike here on Jarrett Perns. Perns popped out an infield fly rule to the shortstop. Back in his first at bat. And here's the 0-1 pitch, and Perns lifts this one down the right field line. Payson Hayes gives it a look. Now I think he lost it, and it's going to go foul. He, I think, had to turn and kind of look straight up into the sun. And there's another example, Jordan, where you see the ball went into the sunlight and then goes into the shade, and you wonder if that has something to do with it. That's the second time we've seen a ball down that right field misplayed, one by Brian Sue and the other here by Payson Hayes.
Yeah, that's not an easy play by any means, but that's an out that you could possibly come up with. Gives Perns life.
No balls and 2 strikes to count here on Perns, and the pitch right on the outside corner, but it's going to catch enough for a called strike 3, and the inning is over. BYU adds 1 in the third. We head to the bottom of the third. The Wolverines coming up on UVU TV.
On the field,
in the pool,
on the court.
We wear our game faces under the lights.
But sometimes our toughest opponents aren't wearing a uniform.
Instead, we confront them internally.
Mental illness affects 1 in 4 adults in the United States.
And suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students.
If you or someone you know is fighting a silent battle,
please speak up and ask for help.
You are not alone.
Utah has embodied the spirit of industry. From the first transcontinental railroad to the first department store, we've led the way. As part of the Murdoch Auto team, we're proud to carry on this tradition. That's because when we say you are the heart of our business, it's more than just a slogan. It's our commitment to the values we all hold dear with no regrets. You've got to come see why you truly are the heart of our business. Murdoch Hyundai of Linden, part of the Murdoch Auto team. Click MurdochHyundaiLinden.com.
You're watching UVU TV.
Well, the sun's shining right now in Orem, and the sun is shining on the Cougars as BYU leads Utah Valley by a score of 5-0 as Bo Burrup right now heads back to the mound, and he's only hit 20 pitches, and he's right now might be the best friend of head coach Mike Littlewood in that first base dugout for BYU as Michael Beltran stands in here for Utah Valley. So Beltran's first at bat of the night, he takes the fastball outside, ball 1. Beltran, Howell, and Modler, 9-1-2 coming up here for the Wolverines. 1 ball and no strikes to the count. Burrup ready to go, kicks and delivers. Inside and low for ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, the Wolverines are capable of scoring some runs. We've seen this past weekend, scored a lot of runs.
Here's the 2-0 pitch on its way. That one right on the outside corner. This one in there, however, for a strike, and it's 2-1 on Beltran.
They scored 30 runs in a doubleheader on Saturday, but BYU has their pitching staff is a little deeper. the Northern Colorados.
You'd really like to see maybe some more patience from the Wolverine hitters. As that one's fouled back to the screen there by Beltran. They've really gone up there looking first pitch fastball. And a lot of the guys, especially their first time up, swung at the first pitch.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is still the first time through the order. Of course, Howell, the leadoff man, is on deck. But, yeah, the Wolverines have only seen Burrup one time through.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on its way is low, ball 3, and the count will run full 3-2 here on Bo Burrup.
Burrup went 2 innings in that game in Provo 2 weeks ago. Didn't give up a run. So he has owned the Wolverines. Small sample size this season.
3-2 pitch, misses low, ball 4, and Beltran's aboard to start the 3rd inning. So a good sign for the Wolverines. Their second time this evening they've had the leadoff man on. And back to the top of the lineup in Trevor Howell. And this is a key part of the lineup that has had some success this year, that 9-1-2 spot, really setting things up for Trevor Peterson and for Jackson Overland in the 3 and 4 spot.
Howell faced Burrup back in the first, picked up a little bloop single. Back in Provo a couple weeks ago, he struck out.
First pitch to Howell, blocked in the dirt by Clausen. It's 1-0 here on Trevor Howell. And this will be interesting to see if they change some of their approaches, what the adjustment's going to be here. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. A 5-run deficit doesn't really hurt you right now. You have an opportunity to chip back in this one. That one low and inside for a ball. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And we're going to start seeing, it looks like somebody can start to stretch down in that BYU bullpen. It appears to be a right-hander. 2 balls and no strikes, the count on Trevor Howell. And the 2-0 pitch on its way is in there. This one at the knees for a called strike, and it's 2-1 on Howell.
Well, the Cougars are wearing their charcoal uniforms tonight. It's difficult to see the numbers on the back, but you're right, a right-hander getting loose for BYU.
2 balls and 1 strike to count, the pitch on its way. Howell lifts this one pretty good out to right center field, but Brock Hale will run over into right center and run it down for the first out of the 3rd inning.
Would you call those charcoal unis? Is that an accurate description, Ryan?
Yeah, it's kind of a charcoal with some blue.
Which normally you wouldn't say goes together, but they don't look bad.
I believe that's Kendall Moats, number 41, throwing in the BYU bullpen, as David Modler will come to the plate. Modler grounded into a 4-6-3 double play in his first plate appearance. The lefty-on-lefty matchup, and a nice curveball there that comes in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. That had some nice break on it right there. Sue holding on Beltran there, kind of in a little bit different way, not exactly over on the bag there, but just playing right in front of him, doing kind of the equivalent there of holding him on. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one misses outside for a ball, and it's 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Beltran has stolen 3 bags this season. He's been caught once.
So we'll see here what Eric Madsen decides he wants to do here in this at-bat. Here's the 1-1 pitch on its way, and that one's going to be in there for a called strike, and it's 1-2. You have to wonder, in a sense, not with a 1-2 count, but you have to wonder if the hit and run at some point wouldn't cross your mind here, with Modler being a good contact hitter.
Yeah, maybe. You don't want to get, you don't want to make an out on the base path, so down 5 runs.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one blocked in the dirt for a ball, and evens the count up at 2-2. And that's the dangers, especially the 3rd out of an inning on the base paths. Kind of, I want to say kind of a cardinal rule here but
don't run into an out.
Kind of one of those silent rules of baseball. 2-2 pitch. Modler pulls this one. Misplayed by Sue as it goes, I think, off the palm of his glove into right field. And that will be for sure going to be, I would think, an error on Brian Sue.
Either way, the Wolverines will take it. A couple of base runners with just 1 out in the inning, and they are going to give that error to Sue.
That's the first error by the Cougars tonight. And with 1 out in the inning, you put runners on base for Peterson and Overland. An opportunity here, just like you said, Jordan, these moments where you like that 9-1-2 hitters to do what they've done. So here's Trevor Peterson looking to build off that weekend he had against Northern Colorado. First pitch stays high, ball 1. Peterson hit a ground ball right back to Burrup. It went off Burrup's glove, hit off him, and then caromed out to Brennan Anderson. 1 ball and no strikes, the count here on Peterson. Burrup from the stretch, checks the runner, comes home. There's a snap throw from Clausen down to first. The ball's going to skip up and going down to third. Alertly there is Beltran, and that's going to be one of those decisions that I'm sure head coach Mike Littlewood's going to have a conversation. That's going to be a throwing error against Clausen, the second error of the inning against the Cougars, and now Utah Valley an opportunity here to at least get 1 back with a fly ball to the outfield.
Indeed, you don't need a base hit if you're the Wolverines, and this is what UVU needed, a couple opportunities here given by the Cougars.
The 2-0 pitch, and Peterson hits that one sharply back to the screen. It's 2-1. Trevor Peterson still in a pretty good hitter's count right here. Should see something good with here coming with the 2-1 pitch.
You see Dave Carter, the third base coach. Anything by Clausen, and Beltran will be on his way home.
Time called, and everyone will take a quick breather and get reset here. Beltran running at third for the Wolverines. Able to get a relatively comfortable lead as the 2-1 pitch. Peterson chops this one over to third. Favero picks it out, goes to Anderson for 1. That's going to be the only play they're going to have, as I think Brennan Anderson had a hard time getting the ball out of the glove. But Utah Valley will take it. Their first run of the ball game as Beltran scores. And Trevor Peterson did what he needed to do there to get the run home.
Yes, he did. Put it in play.
That is Trevor Peterson's 18th RBI of the year. And now with 2 gone in the inning, it will bring up Jackson Overland. Overland 0 for 1, grounded out to Brennan Anderson in his first plate appearance. A productive out there if you're the Wolverines, as the first pitch in there at the knees for a called strike to Overland.
And it sounds silly, but a 5-1 game is different than a 5-0 game. You at least have in the back of your mind, hey, we can tie this thing with 1 swing of the bat.
Get some offensive confidence that you can do things to score runs, as the 0-1 pitch misses low and outside. The count evens up at 1-1. Utah Valley will, of course, play 2 more in-state opponent. Well, 1 more in-state opponent. Twice. I know what I'm trying to say. Twice this season.
I know what you're saying.
The 1-1 pitch, and Overland made good contact there, but sends it foul. And we'll have a 1-2 pitch coming up. They'll play a home-and-home series with the University of Utah. Believe both of those games are in the month of April. Up at Smith's Ballpark and back here at the UCCU Ballpark. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count here to Overland. Checks the runner at first, comes home. That one right on the corner, but misses low. And it's 2-2 on Jackson Overland. Trevor Peterson running over at first base. Brian Sue holding him on with his foot on the side of the bag there at first. A decent lead over at first by Trevor Peterson. Burrup with the 2-2 pitch on its way, and Overland again sends a shot foul. And we'll have another 2-2 pitch coming.
Now the Wolverines have not recorded a base hit in this inning. They have a run home on 2 errors and a fielder's choice.
Some nights, though, you'll take them any way you can get them.
All nights.
Here's the 2-2 pitch on its way to Overland. That one's going to be a line drive hit to center field, but right at the center fielder Perns, who makes the catch, and the inning is over. So the errors come back to hurt the Cougars in the third. Utah Valley gets their first run at the end of 3. BYU 5, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on UVU TV.
watching UVU TV.
Top of the fourth inning starting here at the UCCU Ballpark in Orem. A good-sized crowd filing in for Tuesday night as the first pitch is in there for a ball to Mitch McIntyre to stand in. It's 1-0 here on the 9-hole hitter for the Cougars. And the pitch on its way, that one in there at the knees, and the count evens up here, 1 ball, 1 strike. Utah Valley really, from a pitching and defense standpoint, really needing just to put up some zeros as the 1-1 pitch misses low for a ball, and it's 2-1 the count.
Easier said than done against this offensive BYU team, but the Cougars have not crushed the ball tonight except for one instance.
There's a ground ball to first. Payson Hayes will call off the pitcher, and he'll take it to the bag for the first out of the fourth inning.
There was the Anderson grand slam in the second, but really other than that, a lot of Wolverine mistakes and errors in the field.
And that's just the thing. You take away the Brennan Anderson grand slam, and the Cougars may have a couple of runs more on the board. But well, I guess we really don't know, as the first pitch to Brennan Anderson's in there for a strike, and it's 0-1 on Anderson. Anderson hit the grand slam and then walked back in the first. And the pitch on the 0-1 pitch misses for a ball, and it's 1-1 here on Anderson. Brian Sue on deck here for the Cougars. Here's the 1-1 pitch on its way, and that one's going to be fouled away. That slow kind of looping curveball at the last minute there, I think maybe fooled Brennan Anderson a little bit. It's 1-2. There's, you can see those charcoal gray with blue tops that Jordan was talking about with the gray pants. Here's the 1-2 pitch on its way. Checks his swing, called strike 3. And Brennan Anderson looks at a called third strike, and there's 2 gone as the throw from Sims gets a little bit away from Payson Hayes at first. There's 2 gone.
Oh, nice start.
Really, what you'd like to see if you're Eric Madsen and the Wolverines, Jordan, is somebody who can maybe get some quick outs and can give you 2 or 3 innings where you're not having to constantly go to guys throughout the ball game. First pitch is swung on and hit deep to left field by Sue, and that ball is, if it's fair, it's gone, and it is a home run for Brian Sue as he shows the pop in the bat for his 4th home run of the season, and it's 6-1 BYU.
And not waiting around. He came out first pitch swinging and crushed it.
Just a pitch that ends up, I think it was a pitch that just hung over the plate. And one thing, when you get to the college level, Jordan, you really can't get away with leaving a pitch over the middle of the plate as much as you could at the high school level.
No, guys are too good. They'll hit it out.
Here's Daniel Schneeman coming up. Schneeman 0 for 2 has popped up a bunt to the pitcher and then flew out to left in his last plate appearance. There he's in a bunt, this time right on the ground. The pitcher fields it, throws over to first in time, and the inning is over. So the Cougars do add 1, however, on a home run, and Brian Sue goes yard for the Cougars. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. BYU 5, UVU 1. It's Wolverine Baseball on UVU TV.
Looking to spend that birthday money, Tyler? I'm just not sure which one to get. Well, they are both pretty cool. But saving some of that money would be pretty cool too. Yep.
When's the right age to teach your children how to save and spend money wisely? Right now, with the Be Money Smart program only at Utah Community Credit Union. Inspiring smart decisions.
When I was hired as the new coach at UVU, I knew that if we were going to win games, we'd have to have fans in the seats. I'm not much of a marketing guy, but I have some friends that know a thing or two about it.
All right, Coach. This is all about face-to-face interaction. That was actually pretty good. If this whole basketball thing doesn't work out, you should give me a call.
If you're looking to earn money this summer, stop by the Vantage Marketing booth on the concourse during our games or visit choosevantage.com.
You're watching UVU TV.
Brian Eastburn getting ready to make his way to the batter's box to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Wolverines. Eastburn, Polson, and Sims, 6, 7, and 8 coming up here for the Wolverines. This is the part of the lineup in the second that had some success against the left-hander Bo Burrup, who really has given Mike Littlewood 3 strong innings. A right-hander has been throwing in that BYU bullpen, but has since sat down as the first pitch to Ryan Eastburn is misses high for ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Eastburn. Eastburn made good contact with the ball in his first plate appearance. Hit a line drive right at Brian Sue. And the 1-0 pitch misses for, or gets in there for a called strike, evens the count up at 1-1 here on Eastburn. The lights beginning to come on here at UCCU Ballpark as the 1-1 pitch. Eastburn takes that one to left field. Giving it a look is the left fielder McIntyre, but that one goes foul, and it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes will be the count here on Ryan Eastburn. Eastburn trying to build off last weekend. There's a breaking ball that he pops this one into left field. Going out is the shortstop Schneeman. It will be McIntyre who will make the catch in left, and there's 1 gone here in the 4th.
Yeah, the sun's still playing a factor for that left fielder. That's about all who's dealing with it. We're pretty much on the shade. You see Schneeman walking back towards shortstop.
So with 1 gone, it brings up the 3rd baseman, Cade Polson. Polson with a base hit in his first plate appearance. And the first pitch on its way, Polson sends it foul back to the screen. No balls and a strike here on the sophomore 3rd baseman. We're getting into the middle innings of this one, and Utah Valley still trying to find some rhythm offensively. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way home to Polson. That one rolled foul, and it's 0-2 the count here on Cade Polson.
Well, Polson singled in his last at-bat. The Wolverines put together a couple 2-out base hits, but they just couldn't come through with that big 2-out knock. But you've seen Burrup now.
No balls and 2 strikes as Burrup kicks and delivers the 0-2 fastball, misses off the plate for a ball. It's 1-2 here on Polson. And that's the thing, when you start getting that 2nd and 3rd time through the lineup, that's really where that 3rd time through, I don't know if Burrup will go a 3rd time through tonight against Utah Valley. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one low and in the dirt for a ball, and the count evens up 2-2 on Cade Polson.
And we'll see what Mike Littlewood wants to do. You mentioned there was the man getting loose in the bullpen for BYU, but he has sat down.
So here's the 2-2 pitch on its way home. Fastball, that one's hit well to center field by Polson, but Perns will make a few steps in to make the play, and there's 2 away here in the 4th. So another hard hit baseball. Polson got a good piece of lumber on that one, but just a line drive hit right at someone, and 2 outs. You can see Perns there with the sunglasses on. That's another spot for the next little while. It's going to be kind of difficult to play out there at center field. As here's Drew Sims, who's 1 for 1. He went to right center field for a double back in his first plate appearance in the 2nd. And the pitch inside and low for a ball. It's 1-0.
Yeah, Sims hitting just 186 on the year. The freshman trying to get going at the plate.
1-0 pitch misses outside for a ball, and it's 2-0. And we talked about it momentarily. BYU getting a left-hander throwing in the bullpen. Has the warm-up jacket on, so can't see the uniform. Here's the 2-0 pitch on its way, and Sims pops this one up. Giving it a look's going to be the pitcher, who Burrup will run it down to end the inning. So the Wolverines go down 1-2-3 in the 4th. We head to the 5th. It's BYU 6, UVU 1. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on UVU TV.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now
is the quality of your independent insurance agent.
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
And the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
There is so much to celebrate in life, from the smallest of hands to the victories of youth and precious occasions with family and friends, sharing unforgettable moments. Continue accomplishing your goals and celebrate success at Utah Valley University. Apply by August 1st for fall semester.
You're watching UVU TV.
Well, Willie the Wolverine is sticking around tonight as BYU leads this one by a score of 6-1. Willie's making some new friends tonight, Jordan. As we go back to work here in the top of the 5th inning. Meat of the lineup coming up for the Cougars: Brock Hale, Keaton Kringlin, and Nate Favero. 4, 5, and 6 coming up. And for the next couple of innings, we'll send it over to the right side of the booth here. Jordan, Willie's trying to take pictures now. Do you think he's going to come up here and try to spell one of us for an inning?
Come on, Willie. Knock it off. Tired of the shenanigans, Ryan. If we've told Willie once, we've told him a million times. Leave that poor photographer alone. Here's a swing and a ground ball to short. Howell has it on one hop. Throws to first. And Hale is retired on one pitch. Back to Willie. Just a mischievous Wolverine. So Kringlin will come to the plate with the bases empty. And one out. 6-1 BYU in command as Zeleny pours in a fastball for strike one. Kringlin is 1 for 2. He reached on an error in the second and then singled back in the third inning. The one strike pitch to him is swung on and grounded softly to short. To his left is Howell. Now he sidearms across the diamond, and they're quickly 2 away. So if you're a Wolverine fan, hopefully Zeleny can find a rhythm here. Start retiring some Cougars quickly. As you see a ground ball to shortstop. Howell with the smooth scoop. Nate Favero is the hitter. Ball misses down and in. Favero has walked and struck out. That fastball comes up and in as Favero has to turn away. On these cold nights, it can be tough to get a grip on that baseball. You see Zeleny rubbing that one up. A chilly night in Orem. 2-0. A swing and a pop-up. Third base side into shallow left field is Howell. He has it. And Trevor Howell makes 3 plays, and Zeleny does a nice job to quickly retire the Cougars. So on to the last of the 5th inning. Utah Valley trailing BYU 6-1.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas. But engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
They say the devil is in the details. And in here, there are a lot of details. Flavor, color, texture, temperature, presentation. It all has to be flawless. Pressure? Maybe. But with engaged learning, I get a lot of practice. And I'll bet your homework never tasted this good.
6-1 BYU as we head to the last of the 5th inning. A little twist and shout in between innings, Ryan. As Hayes comes to the plate. I was listening to that song and I'm going, that's not John Lennon. That's weird. That's not the Beatles version. So I Shazammed it. You know, have you heard of Shazam?
You convinced me to get the app.
Did I really?
A couple of years ago, yep.
I don't remember it, but I'll tell you this. It's not the Beatles. It was a Beatles revival act that we were playing Twist and Shout from. We couldn't get the Beatles. Apologize, but we did get the cover band as the ball misses outside, and it's 2-0. Well, Payson Hayes could do some damage with one swing of the bat. He does have 3 big flies on the season. The ball comes in, almost hits him here, and it's 3-0. Bo Burrup has been brilliant on the mound for BYU tonight. Here in his 5th inning of work. Giving up just 3 hits, 1 run. Fastball poured in there. Payson Hayes at the plate from Blackfoot, Idaho. He was the quarterback up there in high school. Takes a strike here, and the count is full. Some Wolverine fans not happy with that call from Blake Jensen. Payoff pitch is chopped foul. For the Wolverines in this inning, Beltran is on deck, and then top of the order, and Trevor Howell. Here comes the 3-2. And it's down low. So maybe Burrup a little fatigued as he approaches 63, 64 pitches. 65, I beg your pardon.
It would be interesting to know if head coach Mike Littlewood really expected Burrup to go this long. We've seen BYU in these games in the past do a lot of what UVU's doing tonight. And if he wasn't expecting this, boy, he's given his head coach right now a really big benefit right now, being able to go 4 and go into the 5th before they go into the bullpen.
So here's Beltran taking a strike. This is exactly what you want from a midweek starter who obviously they're not going to use him this weekend. There's a soft ground ball to second. Anderson tags out the runner, throws to first, and it's a double play. So it goes for the Wolverines. After this one, BYU will head down to Southern California. They will take on Pepperdine in a 3-game set this weekend. It's a nice play there by Brennan Anderson.
It's a nice play, and you have to be very alert there to get the tag and then make the quick throw over to first, because Beltran there runs pretty well, so having to make the quick tag and then make an accurate on-time throw to first.
And I would have to see a replay, but if you are Hayes on that play, your job is essentially to get in a rundown stop. That one's driven deep to left on the wall, looking up. It's gone, a home run. A solo shot for Trevor Howell, his first of the season, and it's 6-2 BYU.
That's the kind of shot you're hoping maybe start some offense, maybe get some emotion, some excitement down there in that dugout, and a big shot there. The fans will be excited for the t-shirt toss now. But you take a look at this replay, Jordan. That's not a bad play out there by the left fielder there to go up and making a play on it. Trevor Howell didn't get that out by much.
No, I was surprised that just kept carrying. David Mottler takes a ball. But solo home runs aren't going to do it for the Wolverines. They need some base runners, trailing by 4 runs. Mottler reached on an error in his last at bat. Fastball up high, misses. A right-hander continues to get loose in the BYU bullpen. Burrup winds and fires. And Modler takes a strike, 3-1. Ball 4. So the second walk of the inning issued by Burrup, and here comes Mike Littlewood, BYU's head coach, and he wastes no time. He makes the call to the bullpen. So Bo Burrup ends up going 4 2/3, gives up the 2 runs on 4 hits. The new right-hander will take over for BYU. It will be Kendall Moats, who's been up in that bullpen for a while. Moats will face Trevor Peterson, the heart of UVU's order. And I'll send it over to Ryan with the numbers on Moats.
Will Kendall Moats making his 5th appearance of the year. He's thrown 3 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 3 runs, all of which have been earned, 6 walks, no strikeouts. Opponents hitting .308 off the right-hander. No record so far on the season with a 7.36 ERA. Moats right here does not inherit an easy situation with Trevor Peterson coming to the plate here for the Wolverines. As we kind of check out Moats, you're going to see an upper 80s fastball and then maybe a big slider from him, and we'll kind of see here. Biggest thing he's got to do, he's got to make sure he keeps command of his pitches. If he loses command, Utah Valley might be able to jumpstart something and get some base runners via some walks or something like that. Right now, if you're the Wolverines, you'll take any base runner the way you can get them.
Yes, you will, as you see Derek Amicone in the sweatshirt, assistant coach, and Eric Matson, the skipper, on the top step there as Peterson takes his practice swings. And now's the time if you're the Wolverines, a man on and your 3-place hitter coming up. Trevor Peterson hit a grand slam this past weekend against Northern Colorado. He has 4 home runs. I'm looking at the stat sheet and it only tells me 1, but I know he has more than that. No, he has just the 1 home run. Well, I'll be Ryan. First pitch to him. This is down and in.
BYU wasting no time getting Rhett Parkinson, number 8, up in the bullpen right here. So this is kind of the portion of the game we saw over in Provo, and Mike Littlewood would waste no time getting somebody in there to throw strikes and get outs.
Fastball comes up and in, almost hits Peterson. So Trevor ahead in the count, 2-0. You see Modler with his lead at first base. Here's the pitch. Ball 3. So nothing but fastballs so far from Moats. Howell homered in this inning, a solo shot. It's 6-2 Cougars. The 3-0 right there down the middle, taking all the way was Peterson. The 3-1, ball 4 just south of the knees. And the Wolverines have a couple men on for Overland. That's a nice at bat by Trevor Peterson.
That 3-1 pitch being so close and being really, that takes some discipline there to lay off a pitch that really looks like a strike and a pretty good part of the plate there to take it for ball 4.
Overland takes a curveball and a good one for strike 1. Moats out of Idaho Falls is a senior. The pitch to Overland. Another breaking ball in there for a called strike 2. Well, the Wolverines need to come up with something here. Trailing by 4 runs. It's the middle of the order. Moats trying to shut him down. The pitch. Breaking ball, misses outside. So Overland watched Moats throw nothing but fastballs to Peterson, and he's seen 3 straight curveballs now. It's always a delight for a hitter. The 1-2 from Moats. Curveball, struck him out. So Moats comes in, he walks a man, but the Wolverines leave 2 stranded. They get a run back. On to the 6th inning. BYU 6, the Wolverines 2. It's Utah Valley Baseball on UVU TV.
I don't think of myself as just an undergrad. Okay, so I'm a sophomore, but I'm at UVU where it's all about engaged learning. Leading a project on DNA research, I don't have to wait for grad school to get this kind of experience. As a UVU student, I guess you could say engaged learning is in my DNA.
Good sportsmanship isn't defined by a scoreboard.
It isn't defined by how high you can jump or how fast you can run.
Good sportsmanship is all about character.
It is about doing your best for your coaches and teammates.
It's about having respect for your opponents, the officials, and the fans.
Good sportsmanship is winning with class and losing with dignity.
It is fair play, perseverance, and team spirit.
Good sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
You're watching UVU TV.
Snow-capped Wasatch Mountains here in Orem as the Wolverines trail BYU 6-2. Zeleny back out on the mound for Utah Valley. Wolverines get one in the last half of the 5th, but just the one. The pitch to Clausen misses down low. Zeleny coming off a very clean 5th inning, so we'll see if he can continue here. A beautiful evening, albeit cold, in Orem. Clausen 0 for 2, or 0 for 1 rather, with a walk tonight. There's a ball, 2-0. Clausen chops this one foul. Zeleny, the 5'11 freshman out of Brawley, California. Swing and a miss here, and it's 2-2. This is his first appearance since the first weekend of the series. He threw against USC, just 2/3 of an inning. Now he's back and he's settled in. He's retired 4 straight Cougars as this one's in the dirt and the count runs full. Well, UVU will be back in action this weekend and on UVU TV on Thursday night as UTRGV comes into town. It's a lot of letters. And it's ball 4 to Clausen. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, a WAC opponent, will come in, and those are big games. Of course, all conference games are big. The Wolverines 2-1 in conference play, as Zeleny will head back and do his stretch with a man on. Perns comes into this ball game. He's up there right now. He has a 13-game hitting streak. He is 0 for 2 tonight. So in a 4-run ball game, that's our storyline that we're following right now. Will Perns extend that hitting streak? Well, we're going to find out. I don't have the answer, but as Zeleny checks on the runner. Perns out of Henderson, Nevada, down there, right near Vegas. The 0-1, a swing and a foul back to the screen. Nothing in 2. He's a transfer, Perns is, from Southern Nevada Community College. You ever been to Henderson, Ryan?
No.
Ah, it's lovely. You got to go. The 0-2 pitch. A swing and a line drive, base hit. So he does extend the hitting streak. Moving to second is Clausen, and the Cougars are threatening in the 6th. Not a real hard hit ball. I think that jammed Perns, but he muscled it out into left field. Bullpen is quiet for Utah Valley, and just as I say that, someone runs down there to begin getting loose. Here is McIntyre, 2 men on, nobody out. McIntyre, an in-state kid out of Tooele. He shows bunt, and he pops it back and out of play.
That's one thing I will say. BYU's really done well with recruiting in-state kids. Take a look at their class next year. They went to a couple of kids from down south. They went to St. George and picked up Austin Deming from Santa Clara. And
another bunt popped up foul, so McIntyre not getting the job done. And it's 0-2. We'll see if Mike Littlewood keeps the bunt on with 2 outs. You see Littlewood in the third base coach's box, I should say. Littlewood coaching third a la Tommy Lasorda, the old Dodger skipper. You don't really see a manager coach third much anymore in the big leagues.
I'm trying to remember the last one that you did see do that now, because most of the time the manager stays in the dugout and manages the game, really. I mean, you don't really see him outside of going to make pitching changes. You don't really see the manager really out on the field too much, more just organizing and doing whatever else a manager does throughout the day.
There's a looping liner into right field. It falls 1 hop in front of Overland. Everyone will advance 1 bag, and the bases are loaded. Now we'll head to the top of the order for BYU. Eric Mattson coming out to the mound. We'll see if Zeleny remains in the game as a right-hander continues to get loose for the Wolverines.
Drew Hill down there, the freshman from Gunnison, Utah, warming up.
And I think Mattson is stalling a bit to get Drew warm.
Well, that's the thing. You got this part of the lineup coming up where it's mostly outside of Schneemann in the 3 spot. You don't have another lefty until you get later on in the lineup to Favero and Clausen. And so really this part of the lineup was the part that you really wanted the left-hander to throw to get that lefty versus lefty kind of matchup. But now you're getting back into the heart of the order with the right-handers. And this is the inning to watch for BYU because you got bases loaded, nobody out. If you're the Wolverines here, you want to keep this one close. You need to get a double play. You need to get an out. A strikeout here on Brendan Anderson would be big. But right now, if you're Utah Valley, you're in dire need of an out here because a ball in the gap here would blow this game wide open.
The corner's about even with the bag. Middle infield double play depth for Utah Valley. The pitch misses down low. Anderson hitting .280. He hit a grand slam back in the 2nd inning. That put BYU on top 4-0. They lead 6-2 here in the 6th inning. As we're at the newly christened UCCU Ballpark. Ball misses down low. Zeleny has thrown about 36 pitches, but he is not thrown for a while. So that's about as far as I think Eric Matson wants Zeleny to go tonight. You mentioned Drew Hill looks to be just about ready in that bullpen. Bases loaded, nobody out. A check swing, did he go around? On a peel to first base. No, he did not, says Randy Upton. Well, Paxton Schultz started this game for Utah Valley. He ended up going just 1 2/3 innings, no earned runs. Jake Carr relieved Schultz. He went 2/3 of an inning, and he gave up the big fly to Anderson. The 3-1 pitch, a swing and a chopper foul, third base side, and count is full. See a few kids on the grassy berm that extends beyond third base here at UCCU. They're sticking it out on a chilly night. "3-2 is line foul. Look out, right down there to the berm. You got to be ready. And no one saw that one coming. I think everybody's okay.
It always concerns me with you, especially when you get a little bit warmer weather out, you get kids playing on the berm, you know, throwing the ball or you're doing whatever. You have to make sure there's no netting or protection there. You have to make sure somebody's watching the field to make sure something like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you have to pay attention.
You just hope that everyone's okay, and you know, but boy, that's kind of an area of concern right here at this ballpark anyway.
3-2 is lined down the left field line. Fair ball. This is going to score 1. 2 Cougars. The third Cougar stops at third. That's McIntyre. It's 8-2 BYU. So the 5th and 6th RBI of the ball game for Brendan Anderson. The ball was just hooked down the line. And we are going to have a pitching change. So that does it for Zeleny. Drew Hill will come in for UVU as Matson makes the walk out to the mound.
So Drew Hill, the right-hander, will come in. He will make his 7th appearance for the Wolverines. He's 0-1 with his official record with a 9.53 ERA. Does have 4 saves on the year. He's gotten 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .261 off the right-hander who, Jordan, he was on the mound in extra innings, I believe, in that Mississippi State series. Talk about being a freshman from Gunnison, Utah, not the biggest place in the world, and one of the first appearances as a freshman, you're on the road in extra innings, and the team is a top 25 team from the SEC, and you find a way to get the job done for the Wolverines. Yeah. I mean, this guy's got some guts.
Indeed, this is a guy that the Wolverines are very excited about, the coaching staff. As we see him take his warm-up tosses, you look over at third base. So the kid out of Gunnison, kind of a diamond in the rough, is how he's been described. You see Sims receiving warm-up pitches. The Wolverines just trying to keep this game somewhat in reach. They trail 8-2. Still nobody out. We're in the top of the 6th inning. There will be 2 men on with Sue coming to the plate. It was Sue who homered back in the 4th inning. He is 2 for 3 on the night.
This is an opportunity for Drew Hill really to kind of go get some good reps. He didn't throw in that series this weekend against Northern Colorado. He warmed up a couple of times, but didn't come in to throw. So this is a good opportunity for Drew Hill to come in and have an opportunity to throw. Looks like he hasn't really thrown since the Irvine series. Most of his outings too have been about an inning, maybe an inning and a third. So this may be a time where Eric Madsen asks him to kind of stretch out a little bit, maybe give him a couple of innings right here, because you really don't, I don't know how many more pitchers past Hill you really want to go tonight if you're Eric Madsen.
Yeah, other than one outing in which Hill got shelled, he has pitched terrifically all season long. So here comes Sue. Anderson is at second. McIntyre is at third base. 4 straight Cougars have reached base. First pitch breaking ball from Hill in there for a strike. And that tells you how comfortable the freshman is. First pitch curveball. Fastball gets away. And it's 1-1. That one clocked at 91 miles an hour.
This is really a situation, if you're Utah Valley, you're going to take any out you can get. It's not an overly close game where the runner at third, if it's a ground ball up the middle, you'll trade the out for the run right here.
Sue grounds one right up the middle. One run will come into score as Howell fields it, throws to Hayes at first, and there's one away. McIntyre crosses home plate. It is 9-2, Brigham Young. Sue picks up an RBI. That is Sue's 15th RBI of the season. But one away. That ball was hit in front of Anderson, so he could not advance to third. Here is Schneemann. He swings and hits one high into right center field. Coming over is Overland. He will make the grab. Tagging and heading for third is Anderson. So 2 down. And Brock Hell will bat. Fastball at 93 miles an hour. Misses outside. The wind blowing out towards center field. It's been blowing out all night. Three runs already in for the Cougars in the 6th. Hill fires. And a breaking ball stays high, ball 2. Hale takes a strike. Well, fans, remember Adidas is the official outfitter of UVU Athletics. To check out Adidas apparel, go to adidas.com. There's also the Adidas store on campus. They have some good gear.
Went in there this morning, actually.
What anything catch your eye? Here's a ground ball to third base past the diving Polson. Howell fields it in the hole, but he has no chance. Coming in to score is Anderson. It's 10-2 BYU. So a nice job by Hill to just put that in play. A little infield base hit. What are we talking in the Adidas store?
Well, there's a method to my madness, as once again we see Trevor Howell do a nice job of getting to that. I knew it was going to be cold tonight, so I'm like, well, I'll go and I will get a hat and some gloves. I went 1 for 2. I found the hat, the little kind of beanie type thing. Then I remembered it was a UVU TV game and they probably wouldn't want me wearing a hat. But then I couldn't find the gloves.
But then we came to the ballpark and they told us, both of you are so terrible looking, we're not going to show you on camera because ratings will plummet. Here is the pitch. It gets by Sims. Into second goes Hale. That will be ruled a wild pitch. He'll come set, checks the runner, now kicks and fires. And a fastball catches the inside corner. We see that velocity from Hill in the low 90s. Just a freshman. Kringlen is 2 for 3 tonight. He's been on base twice. The 1-1. Ball misses down in the zone. A swing and a ground ball to third. Paulson to his left, he has it. Throws across to get Kringlen, and the inning's finally over, but BYU plates 4 more runs. On to the last of the 6th. It's 10-2 BYU.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become?
It doesn't matter your situation in life.
No matter your interest.
Whether your first choice or second chance.
There's a place for you.
Place for you. Place for you at UVU. Place to engage, to rise, to succeed.
To become.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become?
No matter where you are in life.
No matter your interests.
From award-winning music
to acting
to theater programs.
There's a place for you.
A place for you.
A place for you at UVU. A place to engage.
To rise.
To succeed.
To become.
You're watching UVU TV.
Utah Valley trails BYU 10-2 as we head to the last of the 6th inning. You see Moats, the right-hander, on for Brigham Young. In his 2nd inning of relief, it will be Eastburn, Polson, then Sims. 5, 6, and 7 for the Wolverines.
And really right now, if you're Utah Valley, Jordan, obviously, I mean, 8-run deficit's difficult to come up with, but really you just want to maybe use the next 3 or 4 innings, start building some positive momentum, get some positive things going here, and just start building that momentum for Thursday.
Ball misses down low. It's 1-0. Yeah, an 8-run lead in college baseball is not insurmountable, but it will be tough. The 1-0. Ball misses away. You need base runners here, so we'll see Eastburn patient. Fastball catches the outside corner. Eastburn hitting .361 on the year in 36 at-bats. This is high and away. Eastburn is hitting .600 when leading off the inning. There's a left-hander getting loose in the BYU bullpen. This is just the third batter Moats has faced. He's allowed a walk, and he's struck out a man. There's a swing and a chopper foul, first base side. Derek Amicone making a nice play over there. Amicone, the former pitcher for Utah Valley, back as an assistant coach. Terrific recruiter. A swing and a foul. Derek Amicone, the first base coach, comes from a baseball family. His dad is the general manager of the Bees up in Salt Lake. The 3-2 swung on. Right back to Moats. He has it, will underhand to Sue, and there's one gone. Cade Polson will be the hitter. Well, Ryan, on the out-of-town scoreboard, Northern Colorado, they were a little ticked off about dropping 2 of 3 here over the weekend. They beat Regis University 35-11 this afternoon.
Well, we know the Bears have some pop in that lineup, and they've been able to do that most of the year. And I tell you, that's a pretty impressive offensive showing for the Bears.
Polson swings and drives this one into center field. Moving to his left is Perns. He has it. There are 2 away. Also on the out-of-town scoreboard, Cal State Northridge beat Bakersfield 13-7. New Mexico State was slated to take on Texas Tech, the 9th-ranked Red Raiders, but that game has been postponed due to weather, as was the Seattle Abilene Christian game. We mentioned earlier, Chicago State beat Northwestern 8-7, a big win for those Cougars. Here is Drew Sims, the freshman, takes a strike on the inside corner. The conference matchups all getting underway on Thursday this weekend rather than Friday, a holiday weekend. Do we have school on Friday, Ryan? You're giving me the thumbs up.
Yep, unfortunately, Jordan, I think they kind of tie that in with spring break, so, you know.
Of course they do. There's a strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. How was your spring break, by the way? I know you spent some of it with me in the booth.
It was good, you know. Didn't really do anything overly fun and exciting outside of UVU Baseball, of course, you know.
No big trip to Cancun. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul off to the right.
I think we discussed my travel and the way I travel enough over the weekend to know that I don't really go to Cancun.
Right.
I've barely made it to LA.
Cancun was made for you.
There's enough places in Utah I haven't been.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed. More travel talk with Ryan Pickens when we come back. Utah Valley trails BYU 10-2. We head to the 7th on UVU TV.
You're watching UVU TV.
BYU leads Utah Valley 10-2 as we head to the 7th inning. Drew Hill, the right-hander, back out on the mound for the Wolverines. He will face Nate Favero, David Clausen, and Jarrett Perns, 6, 7, 8 in the Cougar lineup. And to tell you all about it, here is Ryan Pickens.
Well, Nate Favero stands in the box, and we're set and ready to play baseball once again here as Drew Hill kicks and delivers. The first pitch on its way is going to be swung out and popped up. Giving it a look is going to be Trevor Howell out in shallow left field. He drops it. It goes off of his glove. Out there going into second and making it there standing up is Favero. And BYU puts the runner on at second base. I don't know if Trevor Howell maybe got a little too, trying to think of the word, maybe a little too comfortable out there, or if he just lost it at the last second off his glove. Nonetheless, it will be an error against Trevor Howell, and BYU has a runner on at second base with nobody out. And here is the catcher, David Clausen. Clausen has walked twice and grounded out. Both times that he's walked, he has came around to score a run in that inning. Ready to go right now. Hill takes a look in, and he will kick and deliver the first pitch. A fastball that misses off the plate, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. BYU leads the all-time UVU series by a mark of 26-9, and the Cougars have won the past 6 years here in Orem. And right now, BYU in pretty good shape to make that 7 consecutive years winning here in Orem. As the 1-0 pitch about ready to come home from Hill, there's a nice curveball that just missed off the outside corner. And it's 2-0 the count here on David Clausen. Drew Hill working here from the stretch. Nobody out here at the top of the 7th inning. 10-2 lead for the Cougars over the Wolverines. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Clausen on the way. He lifts this one pretty well to center field. Peterson's going to run over. He'll make the catch in right center. Tagging and going from second to third is Favero, and there's one away here in the 7th inning. And Favero now only 90 feet away. Nice job by Trevor Peterson to run that one down in right center field for the first out of the inning. And that will bring up the center fielder, Jarrett Perns. Perns 1 for 3, extended his hitting streak with a base hit back in the 6th inning. He later would come around to score a run here for the Cougars. And Utah Valley will bring the infield in here in the 7th. So it will be a little bit of a challenge here for that Utah Valley infield. And Drew Hill looking to try to find a way to maybe get a ground ball hit right at someone. The first pitch to Perns is ground ball hit past the diving third baseman, Cade Polson. That one will get all the way into the corner. Beltran's going to get it in, but not before Perns is standing on second with a 1-out double, and it's 11-2 BYU. Not much there that Cade Polson could do. He stretched for it, and the ball just got past him, and that will bring up the left fielder, Mitch McIntyre. McIntyre scored 2 runs tonight for the Cougars. I think just about everybody but Daniel Schneeman has scored a run tonight for BYU, 8 of their 9 players. You talk about production from 1 through 9, BYU has given a good example of that tonight as the pitch comes in at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. They've had guys draw walks, they've had guys who have hit, and it's been really 1 through 9 for BYU tonight.
Yeah, and Utah Valley has opened the door, given a lot of opportunities, and you just can't do that with this BYU team.
The second Wolverine error there going against Trevor Howell. No balls and a strike. The pitch on its way. Breaking ball misses outside for a ball, and it's 1-1 as the Wolverines are getting a right-hander warming up down in the bullpen. Drew Hill approaching just about 20 pitches or so here, so we'll see how much more. This will probably, I would imagine, they're going to want to keep Hill somewhat rested for this weekend for UTRGV for the conference series. Here's the 1-1 pitch about to come home to McIntyre. And the pitch on its way home. There's a ground ball, one hopper over with it. Howell thought about third. He'll fire across to first and have just enough on it to get the out at first, and there's 2 away. In the 7th, Perns able to move up over to third base. As you see, Jarrett Perns there at third, and now with 2 outs, you go back to the top of the lineup, and Brennan Anderson, who I don't think you could have a better game than Brennan Anderson has had. 6 RBIs, a grand slam, a double, 2 runs scored, a walk, a strikeout, a little bit of everything for the Cougar leadoff hitter. Both good and bad, I guess you could say, tonight for Brennan Anderson. And the first pitch misses low in the dirt. A nice stop by Drew Sims. It's 1-0 on Anderson. Looking ahead to the 7th for the Wolverines, it will be Payson Hayes, Michael Beltran, and then it will be Trevor Howell. So 8-9-1. Opportunity maybe build some momentum and get a couple of runs back and make this one look a little more competitive. Here's the 1-0 pitch on its way with the slow curveball that settles in for a strike and evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike here on Brennan Anderson. One ball and 1 strike, 2 gone in the top half of the 7th. Here's the 1-1 pitch on its way home, and Anderson there checks his swing. It looks like a called strike, and it's 1-2. A couple of important WAC series this weekend. Sacramento State and New Mexico State. That is a big one for seeding when it comes to the WAC tournament. Even Grand Canyon, Northern Colorado. That one might surprise some people a little bit.
That'll be an interesting one to watch.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on its way. Anderson takes a look at a called strike 3, and the inning is over. So Drew Hill gets the strikeout to end the top of the 7th. The Cougars, however, do get 1 more run. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's time to stand and stretch and sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" on UVU TV.
You're watching UVU TV.
Well, Kendall Moats will head back to work to begin the bottom of the 7th inning, and I don't think head coach Mike Littlewood from BYU could have really maybe dreamed up a better situation. 2 pitchers so far through 6 innings, a midweek game. As some Wolverine fans still having some fun at the ballpark tonight, as the game day experience must be good for these fans. Lots of sweatshirts and jackets though tonight, Jordan.
And a free hat giveaway tonight for students in the student section. The Den, a rousing rendition of "Take Me Out to the Ballpark" between innings. Still having a little fun. I was back behind the booth, and the hot chocolate line is getting a little long.
It is, okay, that's good to know. Payson Hayes takes a called strike, and it's 0-1. As we knew, forecasted it wasn't going to be an overly warm night. The 0-1 pitch on its way, and Hayes swings through that one, kind of chased it out of the zone. And it's 0-2 on the UVU first baseman. Kendall Moats has done a nice job in relief. As once again, I believe that's Rhett Parkinson, and that might even be Riley Gates, 2 lefties warming up. There's a breaking pitch that misses low for a ball, and it's 1-2 the count here on Payson Hayes.
That's a good-looking breaking ball with 2 strikes. Hayes flinched there.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on its way home. That one's going to be in on the knees for a called strike. And strike 3, and that's going to be strikeout number 3 for Kendall Moats. He's got back-to-back strikeouts. And Michael Beltran will come to the plate. Beltran walked and then grounded into a double play. if you're coming out to the ballpark on Thursday night, it's a cancer awareness night here at the ballpark, which should be fun. Some kind of fun, exciting promotions coming up here. Air Force in town Monday night. That one's going to miss for a ball to Beltran. It's 1-0. And that, I believe, is a salute to
Service Night.
Service Night, yep. And then Saturday, they're having an Easter egg hunt, I think. Pre-game Easter egg hunt.
Well, we're going to be busy.
It's a 1-0 pitch on its way to Michael Beltran, and he takes the called strike, and it's 1-1.
A couple of nice curveballs there from the Cougars right-hander.
Cole Hostert, the right-hander, warming up in the UVU bullpen as the 1-1 pitch in there for a called strike, and it's 1-2 here on Michael Beltran.
So we're talking Easter egg hunt on Saturday.
Yep.
Because Saturday is a day game, I believe. A noontime start?
Noon, yep. Noon start time, so it should be fun. The 1-2 pitch, Beltran grounds it deep in the hole. Schneemann up with it. He'll throw across the diamond low, but Sue's going to scoop it out of the dirt at first, and there's 2 gone here in the 7th inning on the ground out. Back to the top of the lineup in Trevor Howell, who has a pair of hits tonight, a single and a home run to his name. His home run, I think, might have gotten some help from the wind tonight, just getting enough up over that left field fence for, I believe, Trevor Howell's first home run of the year. Not going to hit a ton of home runs in that leadoff spot. He'll hit you a couple a year, though. His first pitch misses low and away for ball 1. Working from the stretch, Moats kicks and delivers this one, and it misses inside, and it's 2-0 on Trevor Howell.
Moats has settled into a nice rhythm here. Tired 6 Wolverines in a row.
2 balls and no strikes the count, ready to go. Moats working primarily from the stretch tonight. And Howell gets this one, hits it out in the left center field. That is going to fall for a base hit. And Trevor Howell now is 3 for 4 on the night, continuing to swing a hot bat for the Wolverines. And that's a good sign to get in your leadoff spot. His average up above 314 with that base hit there. And here comes David Modler.
Yeah, he came into the weekend series against Northern Colorado somewhere sub 270. And man, he has caught fire.
So Modler is 0 for 2 with a walk, reached on an error and grounded into a double play. Ready to go. The first pitch to Modler, swings through. Swings through it. No balls and a strike on Modler. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Season finale between these 2 teams. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way. Fastball misses, or sorry, changeup off the plate. Evens the count up 1-1. The only other way these 2 teams could potentially meet would be in some kind of postseason scenario at this point. The 1-1 pitch about ready to come home. And Modler pulls it right to first. Sue's right there. He'll take 2 steps and tag the bag, and the 7th comes to an end. So Utah Valley gets 1 on. They strand him. We head to the 8th here on UVU TV. It's BYU 11 and UVU 2.
I had an idea. Lots of people have ideas. But engaged learning helped me develop my idea and make it real. And now with sales over $1 million, best assignment ever.
You are watching UVU TV.
As we bring everybody back here to start the 8th inning, it's BYU 11, Utah Valley 2. Ryan Pickens and Jordan Bianucci here at the ballpark with you. A couple of changes for the Wolverines. Now playing third base will be Paul Estrada. He'll replace Cade Polson. And then a new pitcher for the Wolverines. It will be Cole Hostert, who I believe is making his season debut for the Wolverines. No stat line at least coming in to tonight for Hostert. Hostert, a senior, he's a transfer, originally started his collegiate career at the University of Oregon. Was a Duck, and then transferred here at Idaho Falls, played at Bonneville High School. Hasn't played a ton in his Utah Valley career. Of course, had to sit out 1 year for the transfer. Brian Sue to lead it off, and with that, we'll send it over to Jordan Bianucci. Jordan, take it away.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Ball one. So Estrada comes in to play third. He will move into that 6th spot if you're keeping score at home. There's a swing and a liner into right center field. Coming in and making a diving grab is Jackson Overland. What a play! Wow, making a headlong dive. Comes up with that one, and Sue is retired. That sinking line drive you see here, moving to his right. Well done.
That's a high risk, high reward play right there, and Jackson Overland makes a nice read on that. If he reads that or doesn't get his quick enough first step, then that's potentially a double all the way to the wall for Sue.
That will give you a pick-me-up if you're on the mound just coming in for Holstert. Schneemann takes a ball down low. So Estrada, who's playing third now, the Wolverines started with Estrada at third base at the beginning of the year, and they've been just kind of looking for a steady third baseman and ended up settling on Polson. Estrada has had a nice career here at Utah Valley.
We've seen that the last couple of years. Whoever's playing better kind of at the time is the guy that gets the nod. So it's good to get an at-bat like Polson, get some time, and also got to find those at-bats for Estrada too.
Schneemann pops one way up to the left side of the mound. It is going to be Estrada. He makes the grab, and there are 2 gone. Estrada is known for his offensive acumen when it comes to playing Utah. You see him there. He has had some big hits against the Utes. Here's the right-handed hitting Hale. And a ball misses down. Hostert, 6'3", 205 pounds. A swing and a liner into right field. Heading around first is Hale. He's going to try and take 2. That one gets past Overland all the way to the wall. Hale's going to head for 3, and they're going to hold him there as the ball is cut off. There's a 2-out base hit. And I thought, we'll see if we can get a replay on that. I thought Overland was going to cut that ball off, and it got past him. And once it did, the fleet-footed Hale never stopped. He is at third with 2 outs. So a triple for Hale, and here is Kringlen. Swing and a miss. Kringlen singled back in the 3rd inning. He is 1 for 4. He also scored a run in the 2nd after he reached on an error. The 1-strike pitch is swung on and scolded into right field. The run will come in to score. An RBI single for Kringlen. And the score is 12-2 BYU. So that 2-out triple comes back to bite you if you're the Wolverines. Now we're going to have a pinch hitter.
We're going to have a pinch runner,
Pinch runner, I beg your pardon.
It's going to be number 4, Cam Richens, who will come in to run for Kringlin over at first base.
So Favero will be at the plate. Pitch to him, misses down and away. So Richens at first, running for Kringlin. Hoster throws, and a ball gets by Sims into the backstop, and Richens will take second. That's going to be a wild pitch. Charge to Hostert. Favero swings and drives this one deep into right field. Back is Overland. He's not going to get there. It's going to two-hop the wall. 1 run comes in to score. Heading into second is Favero, and the route is on. It's 13-2. So Hostert got a couple quick outs. One thanks to a great Jackson Overland defensive play. But the Cougars' bats come alive. It's the first RBI tonight for Favero. And here is Clausen. Hostert trying to bear down and get out of this inning. Fastball in there for a called strike. Well, another reminder, our next telecast will be on Thursday night, as UVU will most likely try to forget this one and get after it in conference play. As Andre Seebeck begins to get loose, there's a high fly ball into left field. Sprinting in and making the grab is Michael Beltran, and the inning is over. The Cougars, though, tack on 2 more. On to the bottom half of the 8th inning. For the Wolverines, it will be Peterson, Overland, and Eastburn. It's 13-2 BYU.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quade? See ya! Right at it, right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
You're watching UVU TV.
The crowd is thinned out here at UCCU Ballpark as BYU has a 13-2 lead in the last of the 8th. A few hearty souls left in the seats, all bundled up. A new left-hander in for BYU. It is going to be Rhett Parkinson out of the bullpen.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the year for Parkinson. He's 0-0 on the year, making his 9th appearance, a 3.48 ERA, no saves. He's gone 10 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .222 off the left-hander. And I believe Parkinson pitched in that first matchup over in Provo against Utah Valley. And I remember at least he warmed up. Maybe he was warming up.
He did not get into that game. As 5-coat, the left-hander gets ready in UVU's bullpen. He may pitch the 9th, but it'll be the heart of the Wolverine order. Here is Peterson. So the Wolverines trying to just get something going. A swing and a liner foul. Spoiled. Do you ever wonder how many of those balls land on the on-ramp on I-15?
I always get nervous whenever I'm coming to a game, and if I'm driving on the little frontage road out here around campus, I always get really concerned that somebody's gonna put a ball in my windshield, and I just hope it's not a left-handed pole hitter when I drive past there. I hope it's like Jackson Overland hitting stuff into the fountain or something.
Well, and the money is not the issue. We make loads of money, obviously, doing this, and so we could replace dozens of windshields, Ryan, but it's really the inconvenience, I suppose. When I first started doing this, 9 years ago or so, ball misses down low. It's 2-2 to Peterson. After games, it was before beyond right field here is all rocks now and nice. It used to be kind of a construction zone out there. And here's a swing and a topper foul. The UVU was playing in the Great West at that time, and they would hit legions of home runs. Holy cow. It never seemed to end. They'd be beating teams 18-2. They would just dominate. So I'd go out there after games, because I didn't have a car at the time. I was waiting for the bus. Go out there, pick up like a half dozen baseballs, take them home. I think back on that now, and I think, why did I do that? They're just baseballs, but that's how I was paid in baseballs back then.
Well, baseball is a valuable currency in some parts of the world.
That's true. I learned about that in an anthropology class. Here's a ball that misses inside, and it's 3-2. Parkinson, the left-hander, working straight from the stretch. Out of Wellsville, Utah. Nice at bat here by Peterson, spoiling one foul. Peterson looking for his first base hit of the night. He picked up an RBI in the 3rd inning on a ground out to shortstop. It was a fielder's choice. The 3-2. Strike 3 called, and Peterson can't believe it. But Blake Jensen rings him up, and there's one away. That'll bring up Jackson Overland.
Jackson Overland.
The pitch to Overland, a swing and a foul. Rhett Parkinson on the mound. He was born in Logan. He went on his, I'm looking at his profile here on the Cougars webpage. He served a Mormon mission in Salem. That's all it says.
I bet you that's Salem, Oregon.
Who's to say it's not Salem, Massachusetts?
I've just never heard of a mission in Salem, but that could, you could be right, Jordan.
Hey, witches need religion, Ryan. Learned about that in anthropology as well.
It is interesting to kind of look through this BYU roster and see all the different players who have served missions, who have taken 2 years out of their life or however long to really try to better communities throughout the world, and oftentimes in parts that you don't know a soul, most parts. So it is kind of cool that the idea behind it, and it's cool to see the good that hopefully they're contributing for a couple of years.
Yeah, no. Here's a line drive, base hit down the left field line. Overland digging around first, playing it in left field. The carom is McIntyre. And with a one-out double, there is Overland. And I think people in Utah generally have a pretty good idea of what a mission is about, but yeah, no real athletic activity. You're not training, or guys aren't going to the batting cage at all. It can be tough to come back. UVU has some return mission guys.
I will say, for being someone who has served a mission, that has to be probably one of the hardest mentally tough things that I think I've ever done. And I mean, not being an athlete, to see the lessons that probably learns, especially translates over to a night like baseball, where say you go 0 for 4 and then you come back to the ballpark the next day, you have to kind of put that aside. There's definitely some lessons and some things that you can correlate. But yeah, it's like you said, it's not really something that you're going to go out and actually work out and take BP 5 days a week.
Here is Jake Berry pinch hitting for Eastburn. So Berry will move into that designated hitter spot. Berry has had 48 at bat this season. He's had a tough time batting just 146. Man in scoring position here. He swings and fouls this one away. Hashtag mission talk. That's gonna go viral. In fact, I just confirmed that was Salem, Oregon that Parkinson served in. The 2-strike pitch. Ball misses away. Parkinson checks on the runner. And a curveball is called strike 3. A good-looking one that catches the corner. And there are 2 gone into Wolverine 8. Second strikeout for Parkinson. Well, the I beg your pardon, the Wolverines will stay here in Orem, but the Cougars will head down to Pepperdine after this one for a weekend series in Southern California. They're tuned up and ready to go. Here is Paul Estrada getting his first at-bat of the night. He came in as a defensive replacement in the top half of this inning. Takes a mighty cut here, swings and misses.
I'm trying to think of the last time we've seen Paul Estrada in a game situation. We didn't see him over the weekend against Northern Colorado. So I'm not sure how many, and it's got to be hard if you're not getting somewhat consistent at bats. Just stand in there in the 8th inning of an 11-run ball game to go up there and hit.
Yeah, Estrada started the season, we were talking about it, at third base, and he had a tough go of it. He's 5 for 32. That ball gets away from Clausen, advancing to third is Overland. I think that may be a pass ball. That looked like a cross-up between Clausen and Parkinson. Estrada out of Long Beach, California. The 2-1, a swing and a foul, topper, and it's 2-2. Well, remember, fans, with 40 years of experience, Wilkinson's Trophy is your place for awards, screen printing, embroidery, and name promotional products. Check out selections online at wilkinsonstrophy.com. You see the third base coach, Dave Carter, there with Jackson Overland at third. Two and two to Estrada. Parkinson delivers, and that ball comes in and it hit Estrada on the back foot. No, it Now the ball gets away. Now time is called as Overland tries to come in to score. He says if it didn't hit Estrada, then why can't I score? Now the home plate umpire, Blake Jensen, says it did hit Estrada, and he points to first. That was bizarre. Why Blake Jensen did not immediately point to first?
Well, it puts Blake Jensen in a tough position there, because you can see it right here. Paul Estrada saying, hey, I was hit. He steps out of the box, and Jackson Overland does the heads up thing. He says, okay, you know what? But then Blake Jensen puts his hands up. So kind of put Blake Jensen there in a no-win situation right there. And
well, if you're Blake Jensen, you got to make a call. A no call is it's play on, and you could see Clausen, the catcher, was visibly upset, and that's understandable, as this one is fouled off. Sims is the batter.
I like the idea though by Jackson Overland. Okay, I'm gonna try to score anyway there, and you know, instead of just standing there and being like, oh, it was a live ball.
Sims doubled back in the second inning. He is 1 for 3. Sims is the freshman catcher that the Wolverines are really excited about. 6 feet 4 inches tall. Has been pretty good defensively. They think he can really grow into something great. And just talking to the coaching staff, he didn't play club ball, baseball, in high school until he was a senior. And so if he had played earlier, they said he would possibly be at a major program. But the Wolverines recruited him out of Southern California. The ball misses high. It's 2-2.
Which is interesting, because that's kind of the thing to do is when you get in that kind of position, when you want to go play college baseball. You want to play baseball almost year-round and try to get on club teams and oftentimes get on these big travel teams.
You know, it goes to show you, as Sims fouls one back, we see a lot of guys who have played different sports, and it really has benefited them. They're well-rounded. They're not burned out with one game. Sims' dad is an athletic director at a high school down in the San Diego area. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the glove of Clausen, and the inning is over. So Parkinson allows 2 base runners, but he ultimately strikes out the side. On to the 9th inning. It's BYU 13, the Wolverines 2.
You're watching UVU TV.
BYU in command of this one. They lead by 11 runs. As you see, these guys on the hill, yeah, they're full of energy. They're okay. So leading things off will be Perns. New shortstop on for Utah Valley. Cody Hall takes over for Trevor Howell. Hostert throws, and a ball misses outside to Perns, who came into this game with a 13-game hitting streak. He extended it. He has a single and a double tonight, 2 for 4. There's a curveball in there for a called strike.
a junior college transfer for the Wolverines.
Here's a ground ball to second. Modler has it, and there's one away.
I want to say from Salt Lake Community College. I think he is originally from American Fork.
Indeed. That's why you're only the best. Last time we saw him, it was at Mississippi State. He also got into a game defensively. Hall has not had an at-bat this season, and he is scheduled to hit in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch to McIntyre is in there. McIntyre singled back in the 6th inning. 1 for 3 with a walk. This ball misses outside. I believe everybody but Schneemann has a base hit tonight for BYU. "13 runs on 12 hits for the Cougars."
And Schneemann, to his credit, he's hit some balls well. He's just hit them right at people, and you know, those are the days you're going to have sometimes when you just hit the baseball hard. And we've seen Utah Valley be kind of victim of that too. They've hit the ball hard, but they've hit them right at people. There's not much you can do at the ballpark that night when that's the situation.
Yeah, the Wolverines tonight, though, they've really been dominated by the Cougars pitching. Hoster throws here, and the ball misses away. The Cougars started Bo Burrup. He was very good through 4 2/3. Then Moats and Parkinson. They were just 3 pitchers for the Cougars. There's a swing and a long foul down the left field line. Beltran gives chase, but can't get to it. The Wolverines, on the other hand, this is their 5th hurler this evening. Schultz started the game. He went 1 2/3. Then Carr, Zeleny, Hill, and now Hostert in his 2nd inning of relief. That ball misses down low, and he walked him. So the last thing you want to do in a 11-run game is walk a man. Here's Anderson, top of the order for BYU. There's a swing and a drive into right. Back is Overland, still going back. He bleeps, he can't get it. It's up against the wall. McIntyre's going to hold up at third base. Into second with a double is Anderson. And Sue will come to the plate.
Can you take that, Brock?
It's kind of interesting. At this point in the ball game, I keep looking for some backups, some pinch hitters, but the Cougars used Richens. Everybody else, the starters are all in there. Here comes Eric Matson. I think that's going to do it for Hostert. I believe the lefty coming in is Cole Fivecoat. So Hostert's night is done. Fivecoat, the 6th pitcher of the night for UVU.
Be good to give BYU maybe a little bit different look here than the right-hander Cole Fivecoat. Another one of those guys we don't see a ton get in the ball game for Utah Valley. An opportunity to get him in. I believe he's out of Taylorsville High School, up there in the Salt Lake area as he'll get ready to go to work. So if Cole Fivecoat takes over on the mound, played it quite a bit as a freshman last year. Well, through 10 innings last year. Didn't allow a run in 2 2/3 in a in WAC play for the left-hander, and he'll get Brian Sue in the middle part of this lineup. On the year, Cole Fivecoat, however, I do not have any stats this season on an appearance for Fivecoat. So his first opportunity, not an easy part of the lineup to face, Jordan. He's going to get Brian Sue, who's had a pair of hits. Brennan Anderson, now that puts him at 3 extra base hits in the ball game for BYU. So the Cougars, I think, are pretty ready for this weekend against Pepperdine, which will be big. But Utah Valley, they have a nice little homestand continuing with some pretty cool promotions in that coming up this week.
Yeah, big weekend for the Wolverines. It's when you play in a small conference like the WAC, this game really, at the end of the day, doesn't mean much. You got to win your conference. So the Wolverines with an overall losing record, but they're 2-1 in conference play, and that is all that matters now, except for in-state bragging rights, and BYU will have those this season. The Wolverines' last win came at Miller Field back in 2016. So here's Fivecoat facing Sue. The pitch, fastball's in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. It's interesting how much more success the Wolverines have had against the University of Utah compared to BYU.
Which is interesting, because you would think that, separated by only 4.5 miles, you would think that it would be a little more of a kind of a traditional rivalry just based off location. And I think it's a game that people take serious.
There's a ground ball up the middle. That is Hall. He has it, throws to first for the out. Coming in to score is McIntyre. So Sue is retired. There's one away. Taking third is Anderson. It's 14-2.
I think it's a game both schools really want to win for those local kind of bragging rights, but I think both teams are recruiting some different areas and different players and different conferences. I don't think it has maybe the same punch as the University of Utah is a Power 5 school, and I think it might be one of those games where, not to put Utah ahead of BYU in any way, but I think when it comes to those kind of in-state games, the University of Utah might be one just based off some of the other factors that come with being kind of a big state school, that it might be maybe a little more intense.
Yeah, it's a little different kind of rivalry. The games have been better with Utah and the Wolverines, though they haven't played as many as the Wolverines haven't played Utah nearly as much as they've played BYU. BYU leads the all-time series with the Wolverines 26-9, as this one is fouled off. And the Wolverines, I can't find it right this second, but there's something like 10-13 against Utah. So those teams have played each other very close. This one swung on and hit into shallow right field. In comes Overland. He reaches up and makes the play. And the inning is over. The Wolverines put another run on the board, or excuse me, the Cougars put another run on the board. As we head to the last of the ninth, it will be Hayes, Beltran, and Hall if there are no pinch hitters. We'll be back. It's 14-2 BYU.
You're watching UVU TV.
Fourteen to 2, BYU leads it. Last chance for the Wolverines.
You have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Ethan Payne to pinch hit here for the Wolverines. Now pitching for BYU, it's going to be Kenny Sines. We saw him in the first matchup. Sines making his 7th overall appearance. He's 1-2 with a 9.88 ERA. 15 hits, 16 runs, 15 earned, 12 walks, 12 walks with 13 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting 273 off the left-hander. So now, Jordan, I think you get some base runners. You find a way to get a couple runs on the board and start building some momentum coming up towards Thursday.
Payne, the right-handed hitter, first at bat of the night, takes a ball. Well, Sines, all he wants to do is throw strikes here with the 12-run lead. Swing and a miss. Foul tip, rather. It looks like Beltran will bat. He is on deck. In the hole is Hall. There's a strike from Sines. Swing and a foul back. Payne on the season is 5 for 19. Does have 1 homer. And he hit it this weekend against Northern Colorado, his first collegiate home run. It was a 2-run shot, the 2-2. Ball misses away, full count. This game just about 3 hours old. There's ball 4. So the freshman works a walk to lead things off. Here's Beltran. And that kills you if you're a coach in the BYU dugout. Don't walk the leadoff man with a 12-run lead. That's the mantra.
Well, really, if you're BYU, you could really just pitch to contact right now. That's really all you're looking for. You know, a couple of runs score, it's going to hurt in the stat column, but that's really all you care about right now is getting those 3 outs.
Yeah, Sines misses here with a fastball. Michael Beltran looking for his first hit of the night. A swing, and he's going to get it. A sharply hit ground ball to the left of the third baseman, Favero, and the first 2 men are aboard in the 9th. And now Hall will come to hit in what is his first at-bat of his career here at Utah Valley.
I wonder really I mean, you think of the last time he maybe had an at-bat in a live game, probably was up at Slick last year. And so it'll be interesting to see here what he does here with nobody out.
Yeah, he takes a fastball there. So Hall will dig in there, trying to keep the line moving.
Skylar Davis has grabbed a bat. It's in the on-deck circle.
Fastball misses up high. Hall came in as a defensive replacement for Trevor Howell last inning, or at the top of the inning, I should say. Here in the 9th, he swings and pops this one up. Shallow center field. Going out, coming in as the center fielder, Perns, and he barely makes the grab as Beltran almost gets doubled off first base. Perns came in, and then finally reached down and snagged that one, and there's one away. So here is Skylar Davis hitting for Modler. We saw Davis this past weekend. It was Davis who was hit by a pitch in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded to win the game for the Wolverines on Saturday. Another ninth inning at bat here. Vastly different situation as this one's fouled off to the right. Peterson is on deck. He would hit. Beltran at first, Payne at second, one out. Signs throws, and here's a slow roller back to Park, or to Signs rather. He has it. We'll go the easy way to first, and they're two down. So the runners both advance. Well, the Wolverines are going to fall to 9-13 on the year. BYU will improve to 13-10. And Utah Valley won't see the Cougars until next year, until 2019. Fastball misses up high to Peterson. Trevor looking for his first base hit of the night. He's reached base a couple times, once on a fielder's choice and once on a walk. Signs throws. A swing and a high pop-up. This should do it. Behind first base, Sue is under it. He makes the grab, and the ball game is over. BYU wins this one handily, 14-2. We will go to break, come back with the final totals after this. Once again, BYU beats Utah Valley 14-2.
You only need to answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests. From innovative exercise science, outdoor recreation to STEM programs, there's a place for you at Utah Valley University. A place to engage, to rise, to succeed, to become.
You're watching UVU TV.
Well, BYU wins Game 2, the season finale of this crosstown rivalry handily, 14-2 the final, as the Wolverines head into conference play now. Let's take a look at a review of the ball game. The Cougars, Ryan, they jumped out ahead early on. A grand slam off the bat of Brendan Anderson, and that really set the tone.
Yeah, it's one of those ball games where really when you take a look at it, we mentioned it in the open tonight. We said Utah Valley has to make sure they don't allow big innings. And boy, I tell you, tonight they allowed that big inning. And really, you take a look at it, it was a 4-run second, a 4-run sixth inning. 8 of the 14 runs coming in those 2 innings, and really that was kind of one of the big differences of the ball game. BYU still wins the ball game regardless if you take some of those runs off the board, but I tell you, 4-run second, a 4-run sixth, ooh, I mean that's going to kill you come conference play when you're playing teams like Grand Canyon. And that grand slam though was an absolute shot. Brendan Anderson, 3-1 fastball. I think you were one of us said it right before, said that, you know, 3-1, probably fastball down the middle, and if, you know, like I think you mentioned it, if we knew it was coming, Brendan Anderson definitely knew it was coming, and he hit that ball, I think, halfway to Provo.
Indeed. We'll see a few highlights here as we look at the final totals. BYU with 14 runs on 13 hits, 2 errors in the field. UVU with 2 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. The winning pitcher tonight is Moats. He improves to 1-0. The loss goes to Paxton Schultz. He falls to 1-2. As you see a few highlights here, you see that misplay by Hayes. It's not on Hayes, but that really epitomizes tonight for the Wolverines. Just little mistakes that you can't make against a good team like BYU.
You know, it was just one of those games where enough happened at the wrong time for Utah Valley. If it came at other times, it would have been different. But, you know, Utah Valley just needs to regroup. They get back into conference play with UTRGV on Thursday.
Our Wilkinson's Trophy player of the game tonight is Trevor Howell. At wilkinsonstrophy.com, you can learn more. Trophy, it's your place for awards, screen printing, embroidery, and name promotional products. Check out selections online at wilkinsonstrophy.com. The time of the game was 3 hours and 4 minutes. 2,108 was the attendance. And the Wolverines drop Game 2. They get swept this year by BYU. So, for my broadcast partner, Ryan Pickens, I am Jordan Bianucci saying so long for now from UCCU Ballpark. Our next telecast will be on Thursday night as UTRGV is in town at 6 p.m. first pitch. I'm Jordan for Ryan saying so long from UCCU Ballpark. BYU wins this one 14-2.
This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.